Uma pausa no seu podcast para falar sobre a beleza, essa força poderosa que nos move. No Grupo L'Oréal, nós criamos a beleza com sustentabilidade. Utilizamos em nossas embalagens 85% de plástico PET de origem reciclada. 65% dos ingredientes vieram de base biológica ou derivados de minerais abundantes. Grupo L'Oréal, nós criamos a beleza que move o mundo.
Interrompemos esse podcast para perguntar: quem você quer ser?
Designer, engenheira, pedagoga,
administrador.
Quer saber? O Senac EAD é nota máxima no MEC. Tem cursos de diversas áreas, com conteúdo elaborado por especialistas do mercado e professores mestres e doutores. Ainda tem o Senac Carreiras, conectando estudantes a vagas de emprego em todo o país. Saiba mais em ead.senac.br/graduação.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to
Put his tongue up the bung?
I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Oh, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job.
It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk. Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah. Bring your body armor.
I ran in my jungle once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the program. My name's Justin Crosley. I'll be your host this evening, otherwise known as Jason Petros.
Yeah. Hi, JP. You look very nice today.
Thank you.
You grew out your hair this week.
I did, yeah.
You're growing your hair back.
My shaver broke.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm growing my hair back. A lot of Rogaine.
Yeah, that's good, man.
You ever tried any of that stuff? Any of the hair growth? Anything?
Yes,
yeah.
I have. I will definitely admit that.
Yeah.
Because I'm, as much as I don't want to be, I'm a vain person.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
And you wanted some hair back?
I want my hair back. I'm 39 years old. I shouldn't be fucking a bald freak.
But you've been bald since you were, what, 29, I think?
Something like that. I started going bald when I was 29, and nothing ever happened. I didn't see any results. But I'm also really lazy about taking, medication and that shit to put on twice a day, and I would miss a day or two, and I'd forget about it, and then so I just stopped. I gave up. I'm just gonna let the Reaper take me.
Well, I see. You always see different things in magazines and on TV, and they all actually seem far more humiliating than being bald. I saw like a hat that you wear the other day. I was on a flight looking in Spirit magazine or some fucking thing because my phone died, and it was like a Rogaine hat that you wear, like shines light on your head, and
like the UV or whatever to like wake up the follicles or whatnot.
And I just thought, God, what's more embarrassing? Even if you're really self-conscious about losing your hair, I'd feel more self-conscious about wearing this hat.
Well, yeah, and I think that was part of it where I felt I griped about every time I had to put it on. I bitch about every time I take medication because I have issues I need to take medication for.
Yeah,
and that was one of them where I'm finally like I can solve this problem that I have in my life
by not worrying about it.
By not worrying about it and just not taking the fucking medication, and then it's fine.
Right.
And then I don't have. Then it's one less thing to worry about, and I just have to be comfortable in my own skin.
I agree.
Me and Amy Schumer, we're just like this. We need to empower people who are deformed like us.
Is she bald also?
No, she's deformed though.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're the Amy Schumer of poor men.
Right. Right. Poor bald men. Pudgy dad bod men.
Yes. Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program. Thanks to our sponsor today, More Beer. Of course, they sponsor every session that we do, whether JP's here or not. They've been doing it for a long time. They also were a great sponsor of our Spring Brews Festival, which was a huge success this year. Another big one. Roger wasn't there. He didn't bother to.
He was there. Was that why it was a success?
He was smart.
But Faction Beer was there. Yeah, Roger Davis is in studio with us from Faction Brewing Company, of course. The artist formerly known as Triple Rock Brewer, Drake's Brewer. Who else?
Pyramid, San Francisco Brewing Company.
Unemployment line.
Drake's. 3 times.
Basically, 4 times over. Yeah.
Couldn't get out of there. Had to open my own brewery to stop going in.
So Roger's going to hang out with us tonight. We're going to talk about a beer festival that's happening at Faction Brewing Company called Brewbies, and we've got one of the ladies from the Keep Abreast Foundation and who puts on the Brewbies Beer Festival. So we're going to talk to them about that today. We've also got Neshaminy Creek Brewing from Pennsylvania on the program today.
Right, yeah.
And flew all the way out to do the show with us, brought us some beer.
Yeah, he was really stoked. Apparently he brought his one of the guys in the brewery, who's a Sean, I think his name is, a big fan, totally shitting and vomiting right now. He has like a stomach bug, so he's in the hotel room. He can't make it, and he's like super bummed. He's like
what he came out here for.
Yeah, he's like a super fan.
Right.
Yeah, but Jeremy brought a shit ton of beer for us, so
cool.
Uber or Lyft for everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
So we're going to taste a lot of beer from Neshaminy tonight, and just a lot to do, so thanks for being with us. Couple of updates happening. 21st Amendment's got an AHA rally coming up.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that?
Nice.
Yeah. It's at their San Leandro Brewing location, April 22nd from 12 to 3. And those rallies are really cool. You get beer tours, you get to hang out with local homebrewers, win prizes, and, of course, meet some of the 2-1A brewers and some staff of the American Homebrewers Association. Of course, you should be a member of the American Homebrewers Association if you're not already. You can click the AHA link on our homepage and sign up that way, and we get a little credit for that. So it's a nice thing for you to do. You can support us while you help yourself. And also, don't forget, the AHA, the Homebrewers Conference is coming up, too. You can still get your tickets to the National Homebrewers Conference, but you got to do it. Well, you get a price break if you do it by the 19th. So what's that, Wednesday or something? You got to do that by the time you're listening to this. It's probably past the date. No, it'll be tomorrow by the time you're listening to this. And get your tickets by the 19th, and you get a discount. Otherwise, just pay the AHA more money, I guess. I don't care.
Yeah,
the fuck do I care about your money? If you're not sending it to me, I don't care.
Right.
But we're going to be at the National Homebrewers Conference, of course. I don't think we're going to have an anniversary party this year. I think we're going to skip the BNA 12, and just do it on Lucky 13 instead, I guess.
So are we having like a meetup or something?
Yeah,
like
I'll plan an informal meet and greet, probably on the Saturday night. We'll pick. They have changed the format over there, and the awards ceremony isn't happening on Saturday night like it normally does. So as far as I've been informed, everything kind of cuts off by Saturday early afternoon. We will have done the awards ceremony already. The conference will have wrapped up, and then we're sort of free to go out and do things, which, of course, I think everybody was hoping one of those things would be a BNA party, but I just don't think we can pull it off this year. So instead, we'll just do a little meeting. We're just going to get drunk with you somewhere, basically.
Sure.
Which is kind of what we do at the BNA party. It's just a lot of work.
Pretty much.
So I'm just cutting out the work part and just doing the get drunk part.
Right. Great.
Yeah. Which is basically what I've always wanted in life.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that's what we're better at. We're better at roaming around drinking a lot.
Yeah.
It just took you 12 years to figure out how to do it right.
It did, exactly. This way we don't lose money while we do it and all sorts of things. So I will let you know in the coming weeks, what that meet and greet looks like, and it'll just be something mellow. Just come out and have some beers with us. And so I do apologize for those of you who are looking for an anniversary party, but you'll probably actually get to hang out with us more than if it were an anniversary party.
Yeah, let's slow down on that a little bit. But we should just charge for like selfies, right? Like just have like a meet and greet, but it's $5. You know, like you're walking down Hollywood and Vine or whatever, and like the Superman wants to, you have to tip the guy or whatever before you take him. That kind of thing.
It's not.
I think it'd be great.
I went and saw.
I think it'd be brand building.
I'll come as naked cowboy.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Thanks for painting that picture.
That one's worth $5.50. I went to see one of the Wayans brothers do stand-up comedy.
Oh my Lord!
Like a year ago.
Which one?
I don't know.
The black one
on purpose?
Yeah.
I thought it was an all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet, but it turns out it was a Wayans brother.
Yeah, it was the one who's not very funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't narrow it down. That's not helping.
I went, and both his opening act, who was like his cousin. I swear to God. The opening act was like a cousin Wayans.
Yeah.
And when he got up there, they spent almost the whole time talking about what you're talking about, which is when the show's over, if you'd like to meet, I think it was like Damon or somebody. Okay. If you'd like to meet him, it's $5 over here. If you want an autographed picture, it's $10. Don't forget to buy the whatever the fuck. The movie's coming out. The whole thing was a commercial, and which is one thing. Like comedians always do it, like buy my DVD, right?
Sure, right.
But to have him stand there and say it's $5 to take a picture with me or to shake my hand, I just thought it was the douchiest thing I'd ever seen.
That's pretty lame.
And isn't that embarrassing that your rate is only $5? That's all you're worth?
Right, especially because our rate is the same, and I think we'd pull it in.
Yeah.
So that's extra embarrassing for him. Yeah.
Apparently all that, drinking your juice in South Central or whatever money, fucking disappeared.
Yes.
All that scary movie money is no more.
Gone.
Trying to, fleece $5 at everybody.
I mean, how long could it really have lasted anyway?
I don't know. Buying Lambos and shit.
And the stand-up, you might not be surprised to find out was terrible. But also the beginning of it, was really uncomfortable. Like even for me, I'm a pretty offensive person, but it was all racist and angry in some ways. It was a lot of yelling of racial slurs. Which some comedians can pull off and not make the entire room feel uncomfortable. Not the Wayans brothers.
No.
It was very uncomfortable. The whole room was like, okay. Can we move on to the next non-racial joke, please? Anyhow, there's my commercial for the Wayans brothers stand-up comedy.
Go see them. They're performing at the Laugh Factory tonight at 7:30 p.m. Get there, 2-drink minimum.
Yeah.
1 picture minimum.
Yeah. All right, a couple more things you need to know. You can do your Amazon shopping through us. Just click the Amazon link on our homepage. It's a cheap and free way, basically, to support us. You don't pay any more money on Amazon. We just get some of it. So a lot of you do that, and it's been a big help. So thanks for that. You can, save it in your history, and you don't ever have to go back to the homepage to do it.
Your history.
That's what you do, right? You save it in your history. It goes in your family tree. I don't know what the fuck that means when they say save it in your history.
You scrapbook it. All your orders, you scrapbook.
You scrapbook it. Yeah, and then you can always find it easily, I guess.
This is the time when I ordered Pampers. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Cut out little poopies.
All right, so do that, and it's a great way to support us. You can also just subscribe and join the BN Army, hit the donate button, and it enters you for a chance to win $100 in the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. They give away $100 every month to one of our listeners, but only if you're a recurring donor in the BN Army. So a great way to do that. Get other information and maybe updates and stupid jokes from Kim Shimke over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Right, Kim?
People love my jokes.
They do?
Oh, those are jokes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who are these people?
I didn't know that.
Of all of the things, that we have gotten blamed for, the only Facebook posts that have ever been offensive to people are from fucking Shimke over here.
That's true.
Yeah, she's the offensive one.
She's a Wayne's brother.
And usually with women. She offends all women.
I did. I offended women.
Yeah. And I'm the one who gets shit about it here on the show, and I'm just like, I didn't do that.
Shit rolls uphill, dude.
And, of course, I don't pay attention or care. But
you didn't even know until I told you about it.
Yeah, definitely. And then I went and read through, and I was like, well, whatever. Somebody's butthurt again. Fucking welcome to our life. So, anyway, if you got to complain, it's Kim at thebrewingnetwork.com. And,
give it to her straight.
Yeah. But Kim also writes our monthly newsletter, which if you become a recurring donor, you get that. And because of Kim, it goes out every single month. So, yeah, lots of good reasons to support us. All right, you can also send feedback over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Do we have a Twitter game today?
Of course we do, Justin. Come on.
Yeah, great. Twitter game is brought to you today by the Wine and Hop Shop. Great people over at the Wine and Hop Shop, locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Great friendly service. Half the staff there is brewed professionally, which is pretty cool. And Brewing Network listeners get $8 flat rate shipping on orders under 50 pounds. Just enter BN shipping in the notes field of the shopping cart, and then the discount will be taken after the checkout. So most items ship within 24 hours, and it's the only place you can get Wisconsin Hop Exchange and Gorst Valley hops, which are grown right there in Wisconsin. Wisconsin was once the hop-producing state in the union, the top hop-producing state in the union.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where they made the beer.
That's right. So all AHA and local homebrew club members also get a 10% discount, and they've got lots of hops, over 100 varieties of yeast, 75 different types of malt, everything fresh, 15 varieties of hop rhizomes. You can get Blickman gear there, which is pretty cool. So go check them out. It's the Wine and Hop Shop. What's our Twitter game?
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, Justin, but the Brewers Association recently took a stand against lewd beer names at the GABF.
Really?
So, yeah, so if you have a quote-unquote lewd beer name, you can still get an award, but your name won't be announced, and you cannot use their name in your marketing materials.
Can we talk about this for a second before you give the game? It's one of the highlights of the awards ceremony when that happens. And also, not only does the entire room laugh, but often the BA staff is up there laughing too, because
that's true.
It's beer, guys. Relax. And it's I hate me some hop puns, right? But there's some funny lewd beer names up there.
There are, yeah. Well, the problem is they haven't defined what a lewd beer name is.
Okay.
So it's going to be up to their discretion.
I feel like there should be an industry-wide boycott of this rule, and they have nothing to show on the screens for 2 hours of the awards ceremony.
No one else won.
This
category.
I mean, I don't know.
I think it's really weird, and I think they're targeting more like sexist beer names, like Dirty Blonde Ale or whatever. Sexy Brown. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not very.
They say that now. Well, you didn't let us do this, but you let them do that.
And that's going to be a problem.
Totally.
And they're pretty smart over there at the BA, and I bet they're thinking about exactly what you're saying, Tasty. And so they're literally going to just keep out anything that's sexual. Or
like the word shit. Like bat shit, but you can't put in.
But I feel like that stuff already wasn't really there. It's... I don't know.
I agree, and I think there's maybe 1 or 2 breweries in the 5,300 breweries in the world or in the U.S. that maybe would enter a beer that was called bat shit. Crazy or whatever the fuck, right? You can't do that, or they will censor it.
Okay.
You can still win an award. So I've seen a lot of people talk about, well, if you're going to take a stand against it, you shouldn't take their entry money. So you're still making money on it, so you don't care, but you don't want us to care. It's a very weird. It's not a very hard stance.
And am I wrong? Did the state or federal government stop making beer an adult beverage? Is it now a children's beverage?
Yes, it is.
It's a children's beverage.
They're bringing
now.
Joe Camel back. It's a whole thing.
I see. Okay, well then it makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sake.
Who finds it offensive is because we don't find a lot of things exactly. Yeah. But at the end of the day, is that going to shut it down and be like, okay, you can't use that one because 4 people in the BA thought it was offensive?
Yep. Yes. Or 4 people who complain to the BA.
That's more what I mean.
4 anonymous people who complain to the BA.
Is the BA going to be neutral?
I don't know.
Yes.
Until someone does complain?
No,
I think it sounds to me, and I guess we're just assuming, so we should be careful to do that, but maybe they're just going to eliminate everything that might be offensive.
No. Lewd. I would say offensive, is a different category, but lewd, I think, is maybe a little more finely honed than offensive. Like Dick Shitter, you can't have.
Yeah, but that
Dick
stuff
Shitter
I can't remember seeing things like that.
I know.
I feel like that was already taken out
for sure.
I could be wrong. Maybe I just have a bad memory.
The focus here is on misogynistic stuff, where there's
That's what prompted it. That's what precipitated the whole thing.
Oh, you already know this? I don't know.
Well, I read some about like how it is
wrote
it's
them a
geared
lot of
toward like
letters.
marketing.
Okay.
She's highly offensive.
So
offended.
It is things like Dirty Blonde and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they actually showed some example pictures with the article that I read, and they were all like sexual, mostly like the blondes and beers like that.
What if they're sexual but not misogynistic? Is that?
Well, that's just it. Is they're going to have to come up with like strict criteria, right? Because they're not also going to leave it open for complaints. They don't want to just wait for like 4 out of however many people are going to complain about it and wait on that. They're going to have to define it and be strict with their criteria. Because I think that they're trying to prevent it from happening. So it would be pointless if it already occurred, and then they're saying, "Oh, you can't do this." I think it's meant to be preventative.
And the articles showed like beer labels, right? These are beers. In
It did.
Were these TTB approved labels? Like they let it go?
Good question.
If it's on a label, it's
right.
TTB
It must be
approved. Unless they're just selling it through their brewery.
Yeah, I could see draft only places where they can name it what the hell they want, right?
Right.
Then they enter GABF and they win, and then of course you can't say that.
Faction with Dick Shitter Pale Ale, Brown Pale Ale.
Roger's taking notes right now. Well, I guess I'm not entering that one this year.
Do we have to stop making it too?
All right, I don't know.
It's weird, and it's maybe they're trying to take a harder stance than the TTB because we're trying to elevate craft beer to meet a whole inclusive deal and blah blah blah. But
you're right, and they're doing a great job of that. But do we have to get so uptight?
Well, it's not solid enough. It doesn't mean anything. It's super arbitrary. So you're trying to do it, I think, to prevent people from naming fucking Dirty Blonde, which is the worst fucking. Come on, be creative.
Right.
But then you get
Dirty
people not saying that. Then what? Yeah. Hey, you with the tits, give me another beer, blonde ale, right?
And that is neither male nor female in this industry.
Everyone has tits.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, once you eliminate those kind of misogynistic things, then what? Does the rule still stand? Do we crown ourselves like we've achieved what we want to do? There's no more misogynistic beer names?
I guess. I don't feel like I'm a good representative to talk about this anymore.
I don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Because I don't
We have
know.
12 years of examples about why we're not set up to talk about this right now.
I'm going to make a rule that we're not allowed to broadcast anymore. That's my new rule.
All right.
It's the New Brewing Network Association rule.
There you go.
I'm the only member of the board.
The Brewing Network Association.
And I've decided that we are offensive.
Yeah.
It was unanimous.
Took me a long time.
Yeah.
All shows will just be silence now. There'll still be a 3-hour file to download.
Yeah.
Feel free to tune in.
Yeah. It'll be our highest ratings ever.
Yeah.
Man, these guys have gotten so much better after 12 years.
God. Okay, well, what's our Twitter game?
Well, our Twitter game might get us shut down if we were on the air.
Great.
I want to know... Oh, fuck, where'd it go? If we had a beer name that had to be banned by the Brewers Association, what would it be?
Okay.
All right.
Getting it now while you still can, huh?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And there's some pretty good ones.
Okay,
Just
so
you know.
for those of you who are offended easily, or even not easily, for God's sake, don't listen to the end of this program.
Do not read the Twitter feed.
That is
Don't
when,
go through the thread.
don't read our Twitter feed. That is when we will read the names, and at the end of the program, pick out a winner of our Twitter game.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
How about some feedback?
Let's do that.
All right, feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Our good friend John over at the Beer Law Center takes care of our trademark. He can take care of yours. He can also do TTB filing and do everything you need legally for a brewery. He is a badass. He's good for us, and I'm sure he'll be great for you. Go check him out over at beerlawcenter.com. All right. Here's one about, I guess, your co-host over on Dr. Homebrew, JP.
Yeah, Keith.
Your very own beer judge and host of Dr. Homebrew kicked ass in the California Homebrewers competition. The results came out today, and he won the most medals in the entire competition.
Wow.
Keith got 8 medals, 3 first place, 1 second place, and 4 third place.
Jeez.
Wow, he's a baller.
Whoa.
Yeah. He says he's an inspiration and treasure to have on Dr. Homebrew.
Sincerely, Keith.
Thanks for...
What were the names of those beers, though?
I'm not allowed to read that.
Yeah. Dick Shitter Brown Ale.
Thanks for inspiring us lowly homebrewers from Michael.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a master BJCP judge.
Okay.
So now we have 2.
Yeah.
Again.
Did
too soon. Brian
enter the competition?
I don't know that. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
I hope he entered NHC.
I didn't even know Keith was entering in this fucking thing.
Do you even talk to your co-hosts?
I try not to.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I find out people like me more if I don't talk to them as much.
Right.
Then why do you talk to me so much?
I don't
totally make sense.
I don't know.
Want you to like him, apparently.
Yeah,
I guess
you've already made your mind up, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
All right, here's one about me totally destroying Slop Bucket on the air a couple weeks back. The listener who complained about the feed not working, but worse than complaining about the feed not working, he
tagged the guest in it.
Tagged the guest in a tweet and the whole thing. Well, Slop Bucket wrote in. It's titled "The Beating of Slop Bucket," and he says, "Okay, you guys beat the shit out of me on air, and I deserved it. I'm sorry, and will not drink and email, tweet, etc. anymore. I listen all the time, and I'm now donating. Much improved brews are the result of the BN and its talent. Results don't lie." From Slop Bucket. So I actually wrote back to Slop Bucket, by the way, and was like, I wouldn't worry. He sent it to me, too, and kind of said, don't worry about it too much. I just tend to want to go off on people for no reason.
Yeah.
And
you got an
if
apology?
you give me a little reason, then I just really take it to the limit.
Right. That's still a middle finger because you said you didn't want his money.
I did. I did
so
say I don't want his money.
You, Justin.
Yeah.
Write him back.
And what? And say, I need your money?
Yeah. And say, I've changed my mind. You're an asshole.
Well, here's another one from somebody else who tried to make up for him not donating, too. This one's titled Twitter Douche. He says, The Brewcasters, I was listening to the Basqueland episode of The Session on my evening commute when Justin lost his shit on some fucking idiot bashing your live feed. Taking shots at technology is easy, as there's always something to bitch about. Adults get over it, move on, pay taxes, drink another beer, and eventually die of a vitamin B12 deficiency, which is me. The part that set me off was the tagging in the Twitter post, he says. What kind of backwards fuckery was that? Innocent bystander gets clipped by retarded tweets, and that's somehow cool? F that guy, and F his $2. As a longtime listener and a deadbeat, I've just ponied up $5 a month to cover Fucktard Bucket's $2, as well as my own $2. The extra $1 a month can go to the Bevo Double Wide Kickstarter Fund. And then he just goes on to say, all of you, except for Scott's beer hoarding ass, have been an inspiration to better beer and my own garage brewing, and push myself to learn about the professional side.
Nice.
Anyway, he goes on and on and on.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, thank you.
Personal feelings.
Yeah.
Right.
Ed, who also has feet that hurt like Justin. So Ed has the same fucking drinking problem I have, apparently.
Maybe. Or he got his feet crushed by a cinder block throwing party.
So anyhow, Slop Bucket, don't worry about it. But yeah, stop drunk tweeting.
Yeah, don't worry about it, but also fuck off. Knock that shit off right now.
Somebody else wrote in about Twitter feed problems. They all should be fixed now. Not Twitter feeds, iTunes feed problems, and they're pretty much fixed now.
Until they break again.
Well, the last 2 episodes for Dr. Homebrew should go up tonight or in the morning. They're already. I just have to spread it out a little bit so it doesn't kill the server. So don't worry, Giles. Your shit will get back on there. Let's see. Here's something about NHC. Hey, Justin and everyone. I wanted to say thank you for all the great brewing knowledge and entertainment. I entered this year's National Homebrew Competition in the San Diego region under the Brewing Network Club and took first place in Strong Stout with a Russian Imperial Stout.
Nice work.
It's a few points for the Brewing Network Club.
Yeah.
Wondering how that will go again this year.
Well, we might have more if my entries would be fucking verified.
You entered under the Brewing Network?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
I'm a dude member of the Brewing Network.
You brew again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you're waiting on the results as
I'm waiting
usual?
on my results. Yes.
Why are you surprised? This happens every time.
I know.
They only let the winners know.
Yeah. And if I don't hear back, I should assume the worst.
Yeah, sounds
No
like
news
it.
is bad news.
What'd you name them?
I named him after some dumb meme that nobody would understand and be a really boring story.
Dick Shitter again?
Dick Shitter.
Okay.
Fucking Dick Shitter Oatmeal Stout. Wins again. I'm going to make Gary say it. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, does the same rule apply for NHC beers?
I hope not, because then it's like, 2 black eyes and a ham sandwich oatmeal stout. That's what it's going to be.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
It's not, by the way.
Okay. I do wonder how the BN's going to do this year. Like, is the BN club feeling like they have to redeem themselves and get more points this year, or are they like me and have stopped caring about the homebrew competition in general?
I think you stopped caring before they did.
Oh,
so
for sure.
Now maybe
I just wonder if they caught
up now.
Yeah.
I
don't
think
wish that upon them. I'm just wondering if that's the result.
Yeah.
If they're quitters like me, like now that we lost last year, they're like, wow, I'm
You set a precedent.
taking my ball and going home.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we were retired champions. Like you had said, hey, I don't really want to win anymore.
True.
And then Quaff won, or who won?
Quaff won.
Yeah. So in my mind, we're fucking retired all-time champions.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I think for that, there had to be 0 Brewing Network entries because we didn't really retire. We still participated.
Well,
that's like Mike Tyson saying, "Well, I retired, but I still came and fought. I just didn't care."
Right. Well, I guess it's like the end of World War II, where a lot of Japanese people on islands didn't know the war was over, kind of thing.
It takes
and they
a
were
while.
still fighting.
I see.
But everybody else knew.
I see.
this.
The message, the message just hasn't caught up.
Yeah, they just haven't figured it out yet.
I see what you mean.
It's fine.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Tasty, are you following this saga online? See how the point system is doing?
No, I haven't paid that much attention this year.
No, okay.
I just know that the Dose guys are making great beer and they're doing well in other competitions.
They killed it last year.
Yeah.
I believe they were second or third place. The BN might have been third.
They were close together.
I forget. All right. Well, good luck to everybody.
Yeah.
Except not really us.
Right.
Except, we didn't even mention when the deadlines were and stuff here. We didn't really encourage anybody to.
No.
Still waiting on my results. Tasty.
Except, when they did, this got finished judging Saturday, right, or Sunday?
They were finished
a week ago.
Yeah, last weekend.
Oh, last weekend.
Oh, a week.
It's been a whole week, yeah.
Yeah, on the 7th, 8th.
To judge a mountain of.
You don't know how many.
A mountain.
Well, they're all judged.
Largest
they just need to be verified. So all the judging has already been done. They just need to enter them into some spreadsheet 10 days later.
What region did you enter in?
Sacramento.
Okay. So there's a fuckload of entries that they have to process in and you're expecting that in 1 week.
Yeah.
Well, when I ran it, we had those in, but at the end of the day.
It's 10 days.
We had a spreadsheet up.
Yeah, exactly right.
They're right in front of us. We got the results.
Okay.
Just put them in.
Yeah.
Again, they only tell the winners.
So the results really are out there.
I mean, there's regions that have been judged already, and the winners already posted.
Yeah.
Judged after our region.
Yeah, like some random region in I don't know what Montana.
Look, don't take my anger from me. It's all I have left.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're right. I couldn't ever, even if I wanted to. All right. Do you want to read one last feedback? It's about New England IPAs, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Love that style.
So Seth writes in, okay, I've had it, and as much as I hate to admit it, I'm starting to agree with JP.
Hey.
Yeah.
And Warren.
I'm from Vermont and a fan of the New England IPA. But I've come to the conclusion that the bandwagon brewers out there are ruining it. I just poured one from a, quote, famous Massachusetts brewery that people stand in line for. Ugh. And it looks like what's on my stir plate right now. I can't drink it. Good New England IPAs are not a cloudy yeast slug. They aren't brilliantly clear like a West Coast style, but they aren't fucking opaque. So what makes a New England IPA? Is it the yeast? Is it the biotransformation in the early dry hop? Is it flipping the sulfate to chloride ratio on its head? Maybe it's all of these, but I can tell you it's not bottling a fucking yeast starter. The numerous posers out there are ruining it for the few that actually make good beer. From Seth.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah.
So,
welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the group.
Yeah. Welcome to the other side.
Yeah, we'll get you a pen in the mail. Don't worry about it.
And that's your feedback for today, brought to you by BeerLawCenter.com, which is coming out with a book, by the way.
Yes, I've been reading it.
For those of us who are legally challenged in the beer world, which, let's be honest, it's everybody who can't afford
who's not a lawyer
on retainer.
Right.
And, I think it should be out.
We have 4.
You have 4 lawyers on retainer?
We have to.
Wow. Because of all your misogynistic beer names?
Dickwad Pale.
3 just edit
offensive?
No, I'm not offended.
Yeah.
I have a dick, and I am not offended by that.
Okay. Bam.
Yeah. I get mine shit on. I'm not offended by that.
Correct.
That is disgusting.
I thought we were honest. I thought
we
were being open.
Wrong with it.
Right. I thought that we were being open.
Someone close that window again.
Let's test this out. Yeah, let's test you.
Oh, dear.
I'm dying.
All right, before the break, hey, Drake's Brewing Company has a new beer out.
Yeah.
Hop Vice White IPA, brewed for their shameless love of hops. And it has a lot of hops in it. Listen to this list. Amarillo, Hallertau Blanc.
Huh.
What is Hallertau Blanc, Roger? Do you know?
It's a Blanc from the Hallertau region.
Got it. Thank you.
Is it like more like a white wine grapey kind of thing?
It's actually, a lot of people are comparing it to Nelson back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So
it's not done yet. There's more. Idaho number 7.
What happened to the first 6? They sucked.
Yeah. Took them a while.
That's what we want.
Jarilo.
Jarilo.
JRR.
I've heard of this.
That's their dry hop. Pacific Jade. I haven't heard of most of these. Cascade. Have you heard of Cascade before?
Never.
Okay.
Cascade you speak of.
Kobatu and Chinook. So,
some cool new hops out there.
Yeah.
That's a mix.
Kind of
new.
Yeah.
Kind of a big grain bill, too. 2-row, of course. Pilsner malt, white wheat, flaked rye, flaked white wheat. When white wheat isn't enough, add flaked white wheat. Looks like a good beer. Check it out on your shelves. It is called Hop Vice White IPA. It's a little cloudy.
Okay.
A little bit on the New England IPA side, it looks like.
All right. Well, with all that wheat, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it pours like a hazy white, they say. So,
okay.
Check it out. You can go to drinkdrakes.com and get information, or just find it on your shelf. I love living in the Bay Area because almost everywhere I go, I can find Drake's on the shelf here.
Yeah.
And I like that. By the way, did I hear a rumor recently that Faction is going to be packaging like 22-ounce bottles or something else soon? Is that happening? Is it already happening?
We're doing 16 or 500 mils.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
They just delivered 3 cases here.
Oh, it's already on the market.
They've already posted about it.
Yeah, we just did it, started 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I said I heard a rumor. I mean, I read it on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right. Well, the rumor's not true.
Okay.
We're doing it.
But it's not true.
The stout's on the shelf.
Did you get a bottling line? Or
No, we are using the mobile bottling guy right now.
Okay, good call.
Yeah.
And a big hammer.
We can't afford the $1 million
no, that shit's crazy.
acquisition of getting a bottling line.
You know what I like about that decision is it used to be that brewers would just buy a cheap bottling line that was a piece of shit that and would leak all over and now brewers can like not buy a piece of shit, wait till they can afford the good one, and this mobile bottling line can come do it for you.
Exactly. It's actually really nice, and that's why we waited this long. Because he had a Maheen, and basically I worked on a. Sorry, did I mention names? Maheen.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Dave Maheen.
We all know.
But basically, you're just slamming air into your beer, and it's just like it. It was painful to watch it when I was at Drake's back in 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
And I refused to ever do that again.
Good call.
So as Faction, we decided that we would wait for these guys, this mobile bottling guy, to get what is known as a Prospero, which Drake's is essentially running the same thing, but he's got it on a big semi. He pulls in. 5 hours later, we have all these cases filled with the beer. And
that's awesome.
And
he's gone.
He just drives away.
Are you still...
And that's the life cycle of the bottle.
He just drives away.
He just leaves.
Bye.
And then he comes back later. And then we do it again.
And he plows over the bottles.
He goes, fuck off.
Because nobody moves them.
What the fuck just happened? We just lost all the beer and the bottles.
He's like, not my job.
He's a professional.
My bad.
I bottled them. Distribution just in California still?
Yeah. For bottles, yes.
Okay. But your keg beer goes out of state?
No. We had a distributor in Reno, but he gave up on the beer side.
Oh.
He's more wine and spirits.
Okay.
So.
That's all right. It's Reno.
Well, we wanted to cross lines with all this legality stuff, but we had to cross lines to get
some trademark stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had to do that.
So that was easy for us. It was just a short trip across the... What was that, 3 hours?
Yeah, I could have driven it for you. I have a gambling problem. I could just throw it in the car. You should call me. Next time you need the Reno state line thing, you'd let me know.
Fairly certain that is not going to happen.
Okay. Because
personal.
I could sell it and let it ride.
Yeah, I understand exactly what's going to happen.
Hey, Roger, how would you feel if I doubled your money?
I'm about to double that shit. Hang on, I can't use the phone at the table.
Yeah.
How many fermenters can I bet?
I can't hear you, Roger. It's really loud in here.
I'm going through a casino. I mean, a tunnel.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your line of credit at the pepper mill?
So what beers are you bottling?
Right now we're doing our IPA seasonally, which is the spring. We have our pale, Penske File.
Okay.
We came out with the Imperial Stout, and then we're doing one that is only available in Alameda, which is the A-Town.
Okay. Nice.
So you can't get that one.
Ever.
Sorry.
But you can buy it and
No, we bottled it. You can look at it.
Okay.
You just can't buy it.
Actually, you have to show proof of residence in Alameda?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they said about 805, Roger. I'm not buying this.
Things might change, but until then.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Brewbies Fest happening at Faction. We'll have Melanie come in here and tell us about the Keep Abreast Foundation. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff, Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers.
It's freaking awesome.
Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
Segmented, demented, fermented. It's the session.
All right, welcome to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. A lot to do today, of course. Before we move on, though, I want to remind you about our wonderful sponsor, Great Fermentations. Great Fermentations, by the way, is giving away a free... let me make sure. Yeah, we can still do this. They're giving away a free homebrew ingredients for 15 years. You can sign up for 15 years of free homebrewing ingredients. That is not even half of how long Tasty's been brewing, by the way.
Well, 25.
Okay. That's right. Anna Blickman Brew Easy All Grain System. So all you have to do is go to greatfermentations.com/giveaway and enter for your chance to win. It's a huge prize, about a $10,000 retail value, compliments of Great Fermentations. The grand prize announcement will be on Saturday, June 17th. They're also doing random giveaways every 2 weeks leading up to the close of the competition, and items include conical fermenters, temperature controllers, and the new Blickman Riptide brew pump. So you're going to want to go do it. You get top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many items. Go to greatfermentations.com/giveaway and like them on Facebook at GR8 Fermentation, Great Fermentation, Instagram, and Twitter. Greatfermentations.com. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so we have a lot to do today, and our first guest, other than Roger, who's hardly a guest, he's more like that uncle that shows up at Thanksgiving.
Suck it.
Exactly. But along with Roger, we have Melanie Pierce, who is from the Keep Abreast Foundation and putting on the Brewbies Fest coming up soon at Faction. Welcome to the studio, Melanie.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're stoked to have you in here and want to learn a little bit about the Keep Abreast Foundation and what it is that you do.
All right, cool. I personally started the Brewbies Festival 8 years ago.
Okay.
Down at Pizza Port in Carlsbad.
Nice.
I worked with Jeff Bagby at the time.
Good dude.
He is a good dude.
Yeah.
And then about 4 years ago, we actually moved the festival to Bagby Beer.
Okay.
Before the event opened. But it had just kind of outgrown itself. And then just this last April, we did it up at Faction for the first time.
Got it.
So I've done about 10
or
so Brewbies, but...
How many people went to, like, the first couple compared to now?
The first ever Brewbies, I only had 25 beers.
Okay.
And now there's 45 plus
Nice.
breweries and, up to 100 beers.
Wow.
So I think the first festival we had like 500 people, and we're expecting
That's a lot of
like
people.
17 to 1,800
Okay,
on
nice.
Saturday.
At Faction. And Faction has a nice big space to do it in, so that's not crowded or anything. Everyone can
The
stretch
space
their
is
arms.
amazing.
And, best beer real estate in the Bay Area, I think.
Absolutely.
Overlooking the bridge and everything else right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's your second year doing it at Faction.
Correct.
Okay, when is the festival exactly?
The festival is this Saturday, April 22nd.
Okay.
It's from 1 to 5.
Got it.
If you're a baller status, you can pay a little bit extra and get in an hour early and get a VIP bag and
Okay.
get the first go at all the good beers. But yeah, 1 to 5 Saturday.
Okay. And you can go to brewbies.org to get your tickets, it looks like?
Yes.
Okay. I always recommend buying pre-sale tickets, by the way. Lines are shorter, and it's just a nice way to... It also helps organizers organize an event, by the way. Yes.
How much ice? How many
Oh,
porta
man.
potties?
Yeah, with my festival, it's such a pain in the ass when we don't get that. The pre-sale, for one... You're kind of fucking terrified.
Yeah, like, we're gonna have 10 people here.
Yeah, and you've put out money for different things. But also you get, as a customer, you get a discount. You get in faster, so really it helps both sides of the fence here.
Totally.
So tell us about the foundation that the festival supports.
Yeah, so when I started Brewbies, I really wanted to raise money for a good cause, and I did a ton of research, and I found a local organization. Keep Abreast is originally from San Diego.
Okay.
And they kind of just focused on younger people. They focused on prevention and education, and they were kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of like a punk rock version of a breast cancer nonprofit, if you will. Everything's
maybe
very
like hitting
grassroots and DIY and
Okay. And maybe even hitting a demographic that was being missed by other foundations that way?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
which is actually why the organization was originally founded.
Okay.
But everybody kind of talks about research and the cure. Well, Keep Abreast really focuses on prevention and education and, young people. Nobody talks about anybody under 40 getting diagnosed with breast cancer, but that's not true.
Yeah.
More and more nowadays, people are being diagnosed at younger ages. It's no longer considered like a hereditary disease. It's completely environmental.
Okay.
Not completely, like 90% is environmentally caused.
Interesting.
Which, as is most disease or most cancers. So
Yeah, I live in a city where when people, and this is not a joke, when people get cancer in the Bay Area, they ask, did you ever live in Martinez? It's
all oil.
It's on the questionnaire.
can we bring Ted in here for this? Mr. Martinez?
I like to feel. I think they're just gathering information. It's not. There's no correlation yet. They're just gathering information.
Yeah,
that's what I tell myself.
Yeah, level 2 funding hasn't been cleared yet.
Well, and so I have always
Sector
lived, not just here. I have always lived. Again, not exaggerating or joking. Either under power lines or next to a refinery. My whole fucking life.
And look at you now.
And look how I turned out.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. So
all my stats are BS.
That's right. Take your stats and get out of here, Melanie. I'm fine. I'm calling my doctor
I
right
think you
now.
just rubbed a tooth, bro.
Actually, parts are just falling off of me over here. Okay, so education to kind of a younger demographic.
Yeah, totally. So Keep Abreast has been, we're in our 17th year, and we've been on the Vans Warped Tour for the last 17 years.
Wow, nice.
Kind of like how we got started, really just like grassroots, like going out and talking to people like face to face in an environment where they're most comfortable.
After a couple beers.
Well, a lot of 16-year-old kids at Warped Tour. Hopefully they're not drinking beers.
Got it.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of talk like face to face with people and educate them and just kind of take away the taboo of even talking about cancer because it's not really like an awesome thing to talk about. But like a kid is probably more apt to come up and talk to me because I have like crazy hair and tattoos rather than like going to like their school nurse or talking to like a doctor about it.
Just another outlet for them. That makes sense. I was reading a little bit on the foundation website too, just kind of I guess what you're saying too, to kind of help remove some of the stigma, and the shaming that people might feel about maybe even losing a breast to breast cancer, not just finding out, not just what you do when you find out, but what you do after.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And we really focus on we have like a really good trifecta of like 3 nonprofits. So like Keep Abreast, we talk about prevention and education.
Okay.
And then if somebody were, a young person were to be diagnosed, we would introduce them to Young Survival Coalition.
Okay.
And they kind of handle like young women who have been diagnosed. And then from there, they're introduced to Stupid Cancer, which is their motto is get busy living. And it's basically all cancers, but it's like, how do you get back on track with like your work or your sex life or your family or any kind of thing. So it's like, it's the perfect like nonprofit trifecta.
That's amazing. By the way, Stupid Cancer is a fantastic name for an organization.
And they're phenomenal. They do an amazing job, and they have a event in Denver every year called CancerCon, which doesn't sound cool, but it actually is really fun.
I kind of like
it. As your favorite invaded lymph node.
Buy tickets now.
It's like Comic-Con, but for cancer.
I mean, it sounds a little fucked up, but it's also kind of like we're taking it back kind of a name to CancerCon.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Now it's in Denver, which is great because weed is legal there, and there's a lot of great benefits for marijuana and
so lung cancer is part of it, too?
So all of them, Roger.
You can eat weed, okay?
Yeah, it's environmental,
That's
Roger.
true.
Right.
From the earth.
How did you get hooked up with Faction and Roger to do the event there?
And what did you do wrong?
Yeah, who did you piss off?
Right. Does Jeff hate you now?
I know. So I'm not sure how we met, probably through Bagby at some point, but Keep Abreast and I did a breast cast exhibition at the GABF 2 years ago.
Okay.
And after the opening reception at the gallery, we were like all standing outside, Roger, Claudia, and I had been kind of talking about like expanding the festival and trying to move it to like Northern California. And then, just
one thing led to another.
One thing led to another, one drunken GABF conversation. And they offered up their space.
We were not drunk. We were overserved.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's their fault.
It's someone else's fault.
To be fair, it was free beer. So, yeah.
Never happens with the Hop Grenade. We've never overserved anybody ever.
Ever. Yeah.
I have lawsuits to say otherwise.
Ever. Turn off your microphones.
Insurance company, are you listening?
So got to talking and then decided, it's kind of a no-brainer. Faction is a great location in terms of convenience to get to.
Yeah.
And then it's just a massive space, so you have room to grow.
And like Roger's like a super terrible human being,
Yeah,
so like it just kind of made sense that he wanted to do something.
So that's why I have Claudia.
Selfless.
Yeah. So you guys are such a great team, Roger.
We got yin and yang.
I've always given Roger this backhanded compliment that nobody knows that he's one of the nicest people in craft beer, actually.
Absolutely.
And is always looking to help. He was a supporter of the Brewing Network. I think back when it wasn't even his money. It was like Drake's and other companies. He'd be like, no, don't worry, I'll take care of it. We'll support the Brewing Network. And has just always been supportive of this community. And anyhow, using that location for something like this, I think just fits perfect.
Well, yeah, not only Brewbies, but they do ales for ALS and tons of other like just donations during the year and pint nights and all that good stuff.
All the Faction events are great too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, when you have a location like what we have, you have to use it for good.
Yeah.
You can't just be like greedy and.
No, you're right.
So we actually give our license up for the Brewbies as well as the Ales for ALS Fest, and really want to come up with another one. Maybe in October, November.
Okay.
But there's so much going on that time of year with GABF and blah, blah, blah. But, when she approached us and said, hey, I want to do something up north, it's like, well, you can go look at our place. And Claudia and I were out of town, and she texted me. She's like, "I'm at your place. We are doing Brewbies here."
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I went from the offer to I took it really quickly before he changed his mind.
Can we do it next weekend? Yeah. I'm like, no, we're still out of town, but. So, I mean, with that view and everything, it's perfect.
It is. If you've never been there, it's just a great front area that's very large, like I said, so everyone's got a little room to spread out. The view of the Bay Bridge is fantastic. It does look like you've got a nice, I'll knock on wood so I don't jinx you, a nice sunshiny weekend coming up.
Yeah.
And some good warm weather. So there's no reason that you shouldn't go over to brewbies.org and buy yourself some tickets. How much are tickets?
$45.
Oh, it's cheap.
But 100% of it goes to Keep Abreast.
That's really great. And that's one of the advantages of using a place like a brewery and partnering like that, because their space is cheaper to use. You're not renting it. All sorts of money that you would otherwise have to spend, and which takes away from those proceeds. It's one of those things where so much more of your money goes to the foundation then when you do it at a place like this. So.
Yeah. Last year we raised $57,000
Wow.
at Brewbies at Faction. So total, to date, we've raised over $300,000.
That's amazing.
We're going to start turning run here.
Yeah, I saw
Shot
that in my
yourself in the
notes.
foot over there.
In all the years you've been doing it, you've raised over $300,000 for the foundation. That's a lot of money. That's really great.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, good for you.
Thanks.
That's great.
It wasn't just me, though. Had a lot of help.
You're saving a lot of breasts and a lot of heartache for people who don't know where to go to talk about these things, it sounds like.
You can come talk to me. You can talk to me about your boobs.
And I assume there will be a large presence from the Keep Abreast Foundation at the event, and plenty of people to talk to about it.
Absolutely. Our entire team is coming up from Los Angeles. We'll have our traveling education booth set up. We'll have a wheel of boob. You can spin the wheel, win prizes.
Nice.
Ask boob questions.
Okay. Can I do that anyway, even if I don't have...
It's not wheel the thing and can I touch that one now?
Oh, it's not?
No. Sorry,
You don't
Justin.
spin
never
the
mind.
wheel
I'm not
and then
even
get
gonna-
to pick a boob to touch.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you do. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're doing this wrong. You could charge more money, I feel like, if there's a boob to touch.
I think there would be charges, but I think they'd be filed against you.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Which is why I'll just send my $45 directly and not show up, so I don't offend anybody.
Hand it over.
Yeah,
Cheaper than
here
a
you go.
lawsuit.
Roger, just make sure this goes where it's supposed to go. Yeah.
I've heard, and maybe, I don't know if you know this, Melanie, but I've heard that men have a pretty high rate of breast cancer as well, but they don't know to get checked.
Really?
It's true. Well, I mean, I don't know
'Cause
if you guys
nobody
know
knows.
this, but men have breast tissue also.
What?
Yeah.
I'm working out. They're coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
men
down.
get diagnosed too. There's usually about 2,300 cases a year of men being diagnosed, but their survival rate is way lower because they find it too late. Whereas women get checked generally pretty regularly. And guys don't really want to talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We're not rubbing our boobs enough, I guess.
But you know,
yeah, Roger's like, no, we're talking about it right now.
Taking my shirt off.
Do you know
guys
how to...
want me to show you how to check yourself?
I was just going to ask for a breast exam. Do you know how to give breast exams?
I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to say that I can give you an exam.
But you know how to do the
But
self...
I know how to do a self-check.
All right, show us right now. We're going to do it along with you.
Okay.
Right here at the Hop Grenade inside the fishbowl window for everyone to see. They're going to wonder what the hell's going on.
Actually, so if
But-
you want, Keep Abreast has an app that you can download.
Oh.
It's free.
Okay.
I like it already.
You know, a little shameless self-plug, right?
Yeah.
It's not porn.
It's called I know.
You're looking it up right now so you can get the instructions on how to do a breast exam?
Well, I want to
A self-exam?
You got to
do it
Make sure
right.
you get it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that, Kim?
We're all going to take a group photo of us doing it.
Of doing
Yeah.
a group photo of our breast exam. Okay. Good.
right.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. One of us is going to fucking have it. And
Probably.
This whole show is going to come to a screeching halt. Yeah.
Well, and you have fatty lump. I had a fatty lump in mine.
Okay.
When I was 16 or 17. I had to cut it out.
All right.
And it was fine.
really?
You
Yeah.
just found it and they
Yeah.
went and checked it and just a fatty lump.
Tasty's
rubbing
feeling
myself.
himself up at this
Yeah,
point.
Tasty's already concerned.
Feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good.
Feeling good over there?
I don't know how to give the exam because I'm old.
Yeah. On a scale from 1 to terminal, how do you feel?
And this is a funny thing that you say that, Tasty, because
2
there's
to 3
a crazy
weeks.
statistic that 30% of cases are found by a partner.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So it's important for dudes to know, not just for themselves, but
How many cases have you
No,
found?
when I
Tasty?
my wife was alive, I checked hers.
You did? Yeah. See, you're a good man, Tasty.
Why not?
I mean, now you're creepy, but you were a good man. Yeah.
I checked you now. Good. That's all creepy. Now you're just a freak.
You're like Harvey Dent.
He's a community servant.
Yeah.
All right.
Should hear my
So
line.
if you download the Keep Abreast app, it's called Check Yourself. It's free.
Okay.
And you can send like monthly reminders to do your self-check. You should
Okay.
be checking once a month, generally after your menstrual cycle.
Okay. That was just
That doesn't
Wait,
apply.
but when do we check?
Are you good, Justin?
Just
or-
ended. Can you tell I'm in a good mood again? Everything's fine.
You showed up.
I showed up.
Those 8-month menstrual cycles suck.
Oh, they do. It's rough on me. All right, so I'm clear of that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first sort of step that you're going to do when you do a self-check is to really like look in the mirror. You want to do like a visual check.
Okay.
So you can look in the mirror, you can put your hands on your hips, you can
Yeah.
put them above your head.
Just looking for any abnormalities.
any abnormalities.
Am I
you
doing
want
this
to look.
too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. You can do it on your hips too. Don't forget.
I think I need a beer.
Yep.
I'll get
Nope.
you another one.
Everybody's
so
in.
you just want to look for like if there's any like puckering of the skin or maybe any bruising or discoloration, any tenderness,
Okay.
Okay.
So also don't do it after S&M sex. You have to wait till those bruises go
for the
away.
bruising to heal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And if you have a beard, you probably need to tuck it out of the way to
Good
even
call,
see
Beardy.
your chest.
We got to be thorough
call,
here.
yeah.
Where are you going to tuck that thing?
Just throw it over my shoulder. It'll stay.
He just wads it up in his mouth.
Just upchuck.
Gross.
Okay, cool. Then you're going to take your 3 fingers.
Which ones?
Any
Maybe
3.
like one. I would say like your pointer, your middle, and your vein.
This?
Okay.
These ones.
Either
All right.
hand.
Yeah.
You
okay.
could do the shocker.
Yeah,
too.
these ones.
All right.
Going with the shocker.
Beardy's going with the shocker.
Well, that
Surprise,
misses,
surprise.
That misses it entirely, though. Doesn't. It's not
You got a
effective.
tuck beard and a shocker over there.
Okay, cool.
You got to be thorough.
So then, like, say you start with your right hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
you
what I'm
want to
gonna
start
do.
at your breastbone, maybe at the top of it.
Do I have to raise my arm like
yeah,
you're doing?
raise your left arm.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Wait, left arm. Shit.
Yeah.
Backwards.
And then you're going to do like
Dumbass.
dime-sized circles, a couple of them. Like the first one, like soft pressure, then the second one, middle pressure, and then the third one, like a little deeper.
All in the same spot.
Yeah.
Where's my breastbone?
Okay.
And then you'll just kind of like move your way down the breastbone.
Okay.
I think he's going to
Kinda like-
fart.
Is that what it
Push it
does to
out?
you?
Oh.
It's moving gas down.
There's something else wrong with you entirely.
You're wired different.
Never said there was anything wrong. Not wrong with me.
We're going to start the Keep a Fart Foundation for Roger.
Keep it in.
Nobody wants to keep farts in. That's
No.
not
No,
good
we want him to
foundation.
keep his farts in.
Okay.
Keep a fart.
Oh, shit. Oh, wait, no, that's a rib.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of bumps.
I have
evenly
12
spaced
lumps.
down my chest.
Something's beating in there. That's
Your
my
cancer's
heart.
growing.
It's throbbing.
You're good.
What does that mean? So yeah, you'll work your way up and down the breastbone, and then like over like
Around the side.
around your boob. So
I'm
you go
pretty
up
toned
down and then
here,
like
actually.
around.
Okay.
I think Tasty just went to sleep.
I think he's finishing.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a lump.
Yeah. I think you might need to go about 2 feet lower, Tasty.
That's the quote of the show right there. I'm looking for a lump, asshole. That's what I'm going to say at the fest next week when I'm doing the same thing. This weekend.
If any of you guys want to volunteer at the fest, let me know.
Volunteer to get one? Is that what we're
I'll
doing?
be out of town. I'm not going to make
Now we're trained.
Teach people.
Yeah, now we're trained professionals.
So then also, I just want to note that when you are checking, you want to also go up into your armpit.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I would not have known that.
That's where your lymphatic system is.
Okay.
And that your body is meant to sweat and release toxins. So, like, if you're up in there,
Yeah.
you know, like 41% of lumps are found, like, in the armpit area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount.
It's a lot.
Okay,
It's almost half.
You could have other cancer, you'd have some problem there too, right? Like it's not just for breast cancer.
Right.
Armpit cancer.
Yeah. Lymphatic Hodgkin
Number one
lymphoma.
cause of people with beards dying.
Oh, yeah. 100% fatality.
And then lastly, you just want to maybe squeeze your nipples and see if there's any.
One right there. It's my favorite part.
That seems made up.
I normally have my pants off when I do this, but I'll respect your guys'.
Is it weird that I made my own nipple hard? Look at it.
No.
No. That means you did a good job.
You're
Yes, that is weird.
That's weird, Roger?
Actually, you might have to get that looked at.
There's no vitamin deficiency there.
Kim, look at it. Look at that. Look at his
That thing's
nipple.
working
All right,
fine.
Lumpy. Check it. Yeah, check it for him, please.
Which one?
Because it's pretty hard, right?
It is way hard.
Yeah.
Both of them? I didn't even touch the other one. Wow.
It's not very cold in here.
Turns out I'm the one who's creepy. I feel like I didn't find anything in the left, and I should quit while I'm ahead. I don't want to check the right.
Yeah, just don't check the right.
I'll check that one next month.
You're 50% there.
I'm 50% okay.
If you're going to have something, it would be on the right side. That's you. That's your personality.
You're very right-brained, right everything.
Yeah, so don't ever check it.
That's
ever.
the story of my life. 50% good. 49
unknown.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that education.
Sure.
I hope
if you do find something, I would suggest either starting a journal or noting how it feels or what it looks like or kind of symptoms of it.
Okay.
And your body changes daily. And
send me pictures.
Send Roger's pictures to.
Don't do that because
his
Roger
Instagram
sends
handle
back the craziest shit.
I was just gonna take a picture of my nipple and send it to Roger, and then you said that, and I put my phone down.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
You
I'm
gotta
not
trust
getting
me
involved
on
in
this. I have, and I don't even get the worst ones.
Yeah.
Him and Schumann have some texting love affair.
No, that for whatever reason, quit.
He's a dad now.
He got married.
So,
Let me have his number again.
Same number.
So keeping a journal because things might change.
Just things change, so
Okay.
you don't want to freak out. You don't want to we never tell people you're looking for cancer. We really just tell people you're loving your body, you're knowing yourself, you're your own health advocate. So,
okay.
If you go to the doctor once a year, sure, they'll touch your boobs, but you know them more than anybody. So just being self-aware and being mindful, and then if something does change or if something's not normal, then definitely going and seeing a professional.
Okay. What age do y'all recommend that women start doing this?
Well, our target,
monthly.
Keep Abreast target demographic is really 14 to 24.
Wow, okay.
So anytime really after your menstrual cycle happens. And it's really not so much that, like I said, you're looking for cancer, but it's just getting in a normal breast health routine and just staying on top of your body and being your own health advocate.
Okay. I like it. It's good stuff, and it's going to raise some good money.
Balls.
Our prostates?
Yeah, same thing.
Is it the balls or the... Okay, because the prostate's harder to check.
You get both.
3 fingers.
You can get both, but it's easier to check your balls.
It is, true.
It's easier to check your balls than your prostate.
It's not as fun, but it's easier.
Some would argue.
Never mind, Roger.
But I'll tell you what, checking your balls is less shitty.
Yeah,
so,
good point.
It's not as shitty for some people.
What? Okay.
Don't worry about it.
There's a pints for prostates. Craft beer really has been, I think, a wonderful resource for organizations. Has really teamed up. I think it's just a great partnership because it provides, I think, like you're saying too, a very comfortable environment for people to go. It's something we were going to do anyway. We were going to go spend money on beer. So why not let that be, a donation? For breweries, it works out well. It's just what a partnership between craft beer and...
It just seems so symbiotic. It just works. The craft beer community is so community oriented anyways, so it just makes sense that they all entail every nonprofit, from donating to school functions that are local, or Ales for ALS, or there's just so many different things. And
well, because we're relaxed, and you want people to be relaxed about their body and their health and stuff. So you got to approach that community. I'm going to start a Tipples for thyroid cancer. What do you think of that? Is that a good ring to it?
I don't even know what Tipples are.
I don't know. Isn't it like a little drink?
It is.
I don't know. I've heard it once. I thought it was good.
Made that up.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Everything
you should look that
so
up on
much,
Urban
right?
Dictionary.
Don't do that.
I don't think it's going to be good.
Tipples.
I don't know. Yeah, come on. Nobody's ever heard of Tipples before?
No.
Wow.
Melody, no.
But anyways, while JP's looking up some porn
to drink alcoholic liquor or engage in such drinking, especially habitual or to excess.
Oh.
Is it an English term? Did you hear it on the BBC?
Yeah.
Stop.
All right, JP was right for once.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Okay.
Anyways, there is a lot of things that craft brewers can give.
Craft bears?
Brewers?
Okay.
Speak when spoken to, man.
There are craft bears out there.
They can basically
couldn't make it.
I'm sure she's lovely.
Is Warren
but so
a
is
bear?
Roger.
Yeah, right. That's me.
Shane's a little nicer.
Oh, well, then we are missing her.
Douchebags.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
come on. Yeah, Roger's.
There's a lot of
something
things
nice.
that we can give, and a lot of people don't see behind the scenes. I mean, honestly, we probably give away as Faction, just as an entity by itself, more than Budweiser does. Budweiser doesn't, they say they do this and that and these and those, but, at the end of the day, it's like they're a multi-billion-dollar company.
Sure.
Claudia and I are just trying to get by.
Yeah. And
we don't
still,
have a mansion on the house or on the top of the hill, and basically, we're giving back to the community quicker than we
Who
can
else
say
shuts
hi.
down their entire brewery for a day? To
Dumbasses do up there.
Yeah. Broke people.
There's a reason he doesn't have a
people
mansion
without
on
the
the
mansion
house.
on top of the house. On the hill.
Glad I found the right dumbass.
Touche.
I have a mansion on
Claudius
top
does
of
the
my
same
house, Roger. It's fine. You're saying it all right.
But you're in Martinez.
Right. To keep away from the bears.
I call it the Cancer Mansion, and everyone's invited.
His house grew a mansion.
Right.
You make a good point, and I think it's
The
proof
lumpy
that
mansion.
small companies can still make a difference too. I think you're right that it's much more
we're making
difficult.
a bigger one.
It's more difficult than a large company for you to do it, but you can still afford to do it clearly. And I think that there are other craft breweries who feel the same. So
that's why we have 45, almost 48 breweries coming on Saturday to support this.
That's really great. A lot of breweries.
A lot of the area breweries too, like LA breweries are coming in too. Right?
Some LA, San Diego, Orange County,
Bend.
Melvin, from
Melvin.
Wyoming.
Oh, cool. They make some good beer.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
They're sending cans on Thursday. It should be all gone by Friday. So when you show up on Saturday, there'll be nothing.
Show you the cans.
I'll
nice
be there
try.
Thursday.
We'll save a 6-pack.
There you go. One
That's for those
6-pack to share.
That's for those VIPers that want to come early.
There you go.
There you go.
Ballers.
You can go to brewbies.org and get your tickets, including VIP tickets, which gets you in 1 hour early, and you can go hang out. It's happening this weekend, April 22nd, at Faction Brewing Company. Please go get your tickets now. Melanie, thanks so much for being in here with us.
I can't thank you guys enough for having us. Thanks, Kim.
You're very welcome. Roger, thank you, too. Y'all is welcome to stay. We have another guest coming up, too. Neshaminy Creek.
Nashmany, I think is maybe how you say it.
Nash Bridges is on the show.
Yes.
Next.
Don Johnson's coming
And
in.
Cheech Marin.
Making a comeback as a brewer.
That's right. I don't know where all these hops go. It's my Don Johnson.
It's not bad.
Thank you.
It was bad, actually.
It wasn't great.
You're
Was
getting
it
very
even Don
southern.
Johnson?
You notice that? It's like the third time you said y'all.
I've been saying y'all a lot lately.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
I think it's just laziness. I keep getting lazier, and if I can shorten, phrases.
I've heard that y'all is actually more grammatically correct than you all.
Who did you hear that from? A Southerner?
Okay, let me rephrase. I read in a headline that y'all is more grammatically correct than you all.
Yeah, on BuzzFeed.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I believe it's pronounced U-Haul.
Yeah, no, Roger's right.
He's right.
Yeah.
All right. All right, before the break, go to mellowmink.com. Dr. Lambic and his sour beer blog team have teamed up, have been the longest-running sponsors of the Sour Hour, our hit show here on the Brewing Network. And now they're opening a sour and farmhouse-focused brewery in central Pennsylvania. Help get them started. You can join their Founders Club, which includes 8 exclusive bottles of club-only aged and blended sour beer, early access to all their public bottle releases, a hooded sweatshirt, pair of tasting glasses, club growler, and a metal challenge coin. Not to mention discounts and much more. You can learn more and join the Founders Club over at mellowmink.com. Good luck to Mellow Mink Brewing. Support them. They've been supporting us, and everyone needs a little help, right?
That's true.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Neshaminy Creek Brewing out of Pennsylvania. They brought us a shit ton of beer, I heard. So
they did.
It's time to start drinking, I guess. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from the BrewingNetwork.com. Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com, also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Hi, this is Tyler from Libertine Brewing Company in the Central Coast of California. You're listening to Brewing Network, The Session. It sucks. Does it suck? It sucks. But that's what's good about it, is that it sucks, right?
All right, welcome back to the program, and thank you so much to Melanie from Brewbies for being on the show to teach us about that. Show us all how to do breast exams. That was fun.
That felt great.
Apparently, there's going to be some video floating around, probably on Facebook, of us all examining ourselves. So if you're looking for, I don't know, a little boner material. Yeah. You can see us.
Never float your boat.
MP4 for the spank
Yeah,
bank.
that's what I was going to say. Put that in your spank bank.
Right. Well, and this one will be guaranteed not to give you any sort of pop-ups. or any Trojans or anything like that.
Yeah,
well,
no live chat, no nothing.
You'll get one pop-up, that's for sure.
It might lead the Trojans.
That's true.
After watching that video. All right, we've got Jeremy Myers from Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company in the studio with us. And just before we get into that interview, don't forget about the Yeast Vault over at White Labs. If you haven't heard the latest news, White Labs is releasing all the yeast strains, all of them. So there's no need to wait until a strain gets to 250 orders like when they started the Vault program. Yeah, now you can place an order and get your strain delivered right to your doorstep. Each week, 2 different strains will be pushed into production until the last one leaves the vault. To get your hands on these specialty strains, visit whitelabs.com/the vault and purchase a yeast strain before its order cutoff date. So you want to check that all the time. It could be your only chance to get these rare specialty yeast strains without waiting for it to collect 250 orders. So don't wait. Go over to whitelabs.com/the vault right now and order that yeast. All right. So as I said, we got Jeremy in the studio. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
You guys are a pretty new brewery, right?
It'll be 5 years, June 1st.
5 years.
5 years.
Is that now new in this industry?
I think it's still new.
It's still new.
I think so. It's on the cusp of new.
Yeah. It's like 30 years in brewers years.
Yeah.
Although I think I read something like 40% of craft breweries are like a year or two old in the U.S. right now. It's just been growing so fast.
I feel like it's even more than that because I saw a statistic the other day where when we had applied for our TTB notice with the federal government, there was only like 1,500 breweries, and that was we applied
5 years ago.
Yeah, November 2010 actually is when we applied for our brewery notice, and now here it is. 7 years later, there's like almost 6,000 breweries, which is crazy.
Tough time to open a new brewery.
Trust me.
You did it right.
Yeah. We snuck it in just in time. So.
I kind of think about that here sometimes. We chose to open a tap room, and people always ask, like, when are you guys going to open a brewery? And I usually say 7 years ago would have been the time to do that. And now just the playing field is so difficult. We would make great beer, though, wouldn't we, Tasty? But we still would have to compete.
We'd shoot ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're very hard on ourselves.
Or both.
Who's dying this week?
Yeah.
Beardy.
We only sold 29 barrels of that 30-barrel batch. Who's getting a bullet in the face?
You've earned it.
Yeah. Tough sales meetings.
In terms of there being too many breweries, though, it depends where you are. Some places a brewery opens up. It's the only brewery within 50 miles.
You're right.
Yeah, totally. I don't think there's also too many breweries. It's... I look at it because, especially the law in Pennsylvania, the way we started, it's so focused heavily on local breweries,
right?
Like smaller, which is great.
Yeah,
but production breweries are definitely a dying and dead dinosaur, at least for our territory, our market.
I hear Syria is the next big brewery place. If you open in Syria right now, you're definitely going to be the only brewery.
Syria.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like Siri, like the iPhone,
That's what I
like it was like a
Syria.
virtual thing, and I was like, huh.
Siri.
Okay.
The planet.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to start. No, I thought you meant Siri, like as in like Apple, like start giving out recipes on your phone or something.
No,
Jason,
I think you dropping should put letters on things. Y'all, Siri.
Yeah, Thursday. Bring a brush break. You start mumble rap, it'd be great.
Yeah.
You and little Yachty.
All right. While we're talking, you can go over to, let me put my glasses on and get it right, NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com, and you can follow along with the different beers we're talking about. Fantastic branding, by the way. You got good labels.
Thank you.
Is it? Are we saying it right?
You are. The funny thing is, obviously I've listened to a bunch of the episodes all the time, but it came up last week. Where you were pronouncing.
I did it completely wrong. I think I was doing Neshaminy before.
We don't worry about that because I kind of joke about it that everyone always fucks it up.
Yeah.
So. But I also joke that like on my way home I crisscross the creek, or if you're from Philadelphia, it's the crick.
Okay.
If you crisscross the crick as many times as I do, I drive through a little town called Humeville, which has a great bar called the Humeville Inn, which is sort of part of the impetus for the start of the brewery. But there's a Methodist, I believe it's a Methodist church there. It's called the Neshaminy. It's actually spelled,
so they make it more difficult.
It's spelled with an M. It's like Neshominy, or something like that. It's not the same as the way everyone pronounces it.
Yeah.
So pretty much if you're close enough, it works for us.
And I like that you're not a stickler about it. I always feel like people can be kind of douchey about that stuff.
Well, when we started, we knew everyone was going to screw it up anyway. So if you have heard the number of vendors, people that call us like, I'm looking for Jeremy from Neshaminy, Yeah, dude, don't worry about it. It's cool.
Yeah.
We got it.
Also, practice the name of the brewery before you call me if you're going to buy something from you.
Yeah,
just practice it.
We kind of went into it knowing that everyone was going to screw it up anyway. If you're not from the Philadelphia area or like the Delaware Valley area, you're probably not going to get it right. So
but people even fuck up the
right.
simple ones. Like in the 12 years we've been around, people still the Beer Network, the Brewers Network, the Home Brewers Network, and people that we've known for years go, "Oh, this is Justin from the Brewers Network," and I stopped correcting them because you just feel like whatever, they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I worked for you for 3 years, and you still don't know how to spell my last name.
That's not true.
That is true.
Dickhead. That's how you do it.
Shitter.
So where are you guys located?
We're in Croydon, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of the city limits of Philadelphia, conveniently outside the tax limits of the city of Philadelphia.
Nice.
In Lower Bucks County, right along the Delaware River and the Neshaminy Creek.
Okay.
So 20 minutes from downtown, like Center City, Philadelphia.
And you opened 5 years ago. What'd you do before you opened? Because you're the owner and head brewer, right?
I'm the head brewer and one of the owners.
Okay.
Before that, I was a brewer at River Horse Brewing Company they're now located in Ewing, Trenton, New Jersey. But before that, when I was there, it was in Lambertville, which is my hometown, Lambertville, New Jersey.
Okay.
There's a little bit of argument about whether they're the oldest brewery in New Jersey or not, but they've been around since 96 or 95. So
it's a long time.
Yeah, they've been around a good portion. Good guys, great brewery, fun experience working there.
And is that where you learned to brew?
I was a home brewer before that.
Okay.
And then I kind of did the same thing that a lot of people did, where I was like, oh well, how can I do this for a living? You know, it's kind of funny. I always make the joke that when you're 18 years old or 16, 17 years old, you don't walk into your high school guidance counselor's office and be like, how do I make beer for a living?
Sure.
Maybe if you lived in Germany or like the UK, that's something.
Then it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But I came. I don't want to say I came to it late. It's kind of a funny thing where I felt like my wife and I, we bought a house. And I was literally driving by this homebrew store to and from work every day. And I would drive to work in the morning, it was closed. And when I drive home at night, it was closed. So I could never actually get there during the weekdays. And then finally, I just said, screw it. Like one Saturday, I showed up and bought a kit. And then 4 months later, I was like, I got to figure out how to do this for a living.
Of course.
It almost to the point where, like, the first time I homebrewed, I felt, I don't want to say it felt like it was natural, but I felt like I'd already read a bunch of books and a lot of stuff online where it felt, very comfortable for me. So it felt like a natural thing. And so I literally went to my wife and said, hey, I'm pretty certain what I'm doing right now. I don't want to do for the rest of my life.
And how did that conversation go?
It was funny because it was like either I wanted to be a professional brewer or I wanted to be a professional baseball umpire.
Okay.
So I kind of threw 2 curveballs at once.
So she already knew you were an idiot.
Right. Yeah. She's like, well,
you'll be gone all the time, umpire.
Yeah. Well, that was probably the little bit of the pitch. Was like, well, if I'm a baseball umpire, I'm never going to be here.
Was there a chance for you to be a baseball umpire, or you just were a big baseball fan and thought?
Do you do that? No, I'm super into. You have to go to school just like being a brewer.
Okay.
But most of the umpire schools are in Florida.
Okay.
So doing that would have been a tough choice.
Yeah. Did you practice your call, like you're out or the strike? Like,
yes.
Do you go do it on base? What do you do?
Usually heavily intoxicated.
Strike.
Watch lots of videos of other professional umpires and like
Jesus, you have training.
My buddies Matt and Tom, we practice it a lot when we're drunk.
Call me a strike right now. Throw a strike out.
Wow. Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's almost like a karate. It's almost like a karate chop.
Can you throw JP out of the game?
I could.
You're right. You do the signal.
Yeah. Well, that's more like calling the lefty from the bullpen, but I don't want to break anything in here.
Yeah, can you kick dirt on Beardy? Isn't that?
I could.
You get dirt kicked on you when you're an ump, right?
Yes, okay. But I'm probably the type of ump that wouldn't take any shit, so I'd probably
you'd kick it right back.
I'd probably start a fist fight in the middle of the field.
Pick up a handful and throw it in the eyes.
Brewing is probably a better choice.
It's more peaceful.
You make half as much, but it's more fun.
Less fighting.
Yeah, a lot less fighting.
So you decided to be a brewer. Mm-hmm. Your wife accepted this decision.
Yes.
And what did you do then? Well, I guess you got a job first. You didn't say, we're going to open a brewery next year.
Yeah, so, what I had done at the time was I sent my resume out to 6 different breweries in the area. We're lucky in the Philadelphia region. There's a lot of really good breweries. And just said, hey, I'm going to Siebel. I'm a Siebel grad, and I said I'm going to Siebel in the fall, and if you want some free labor, free workforce for the next couple months before I go to school, I'd love to go to Siebel without being just not to say this in a derogatory way, not without just being a home brewer. It'd be great to go in with a little bit of professional experience. So I got really lucky where I got calls and emails back from 3 breweries, and then one just happened to be River Horse, which is from my hometown. Went and interviewed, and they called me back and said, hey, you want to start? I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Nice.
So I left. I started doing that. I interned for about 5 months, and then just before I left for Siebel, they offered me a full-time position. So by the time, even before I left, I was like, I had a job.
Oh, wow.
So
they were cool with you going away to Siebel and then coming back for the job. How long was your course at Siebel?
I only did the short course. I mean, I did the concise course. So,
which is what, a
2
month?
weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
But it's 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night every day for 2 weeks straight.
Okay.
And when I put it was kind of funny because I had the job. Well, I got offered the full-time job before I left for Siebel, and then maybe 4 or 5 days into the Siebel course, I got a call from one of the owners saying, hey, so we just let go of the head brewer.
No kidding.
You have a new job title when you get back, huh?
I didn't have necessarily a new job title, but they were like, okay, we got, we let go of the head brewer, and it was kind of a weird situation because the brewery had just gotten purchased by some private equity guys.
Okay.
And they kept on one of the old head brewer and then brought in like a UC Davis grad.
I see.
They were kind of had split roles, and then they let go of the old guy while I was at Siebel, and it was like, hey, so when you get back, you're going to have to do a lot more than you were doing before.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I was ready for it.
I was kind of wondering how that dynamic would work, even, starting as a home brewer and an unpaid intern, and then coming back as a well-trained brewer, if they kind of, like, fucked with you about that, like, oh, look at the big brains on Jeremy now.
No, it was actually, before I left, it was almost to the before they offered me the position, I almost got to the point where I was like, well, if you guys really want me to continue to do this, like, I'd started off at like maybe 12, 16 hours a week, and then by the time right before, like 3 weeks before I left for school, I was doing like 40, 50 hours a week.
Wow.
And you're on the brew deck. I mean, when you left, you could brew any beer that they had there.
I mean,
so when you were gone and they had the change up, they're thinking like, you're going to actually do it.
No, I was doing everything. The only thing I wasn't doing at the time when I left for brew school was I hadn't spent a whole lot of time on the packaging line, which was a blessing and a curse. But no, I mean, I literally had gotten to the point where like, hey, if you guys want to keep me, you might want to start paying me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but
no, but it's been 5 months or whatever and more hours. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did you stay there?
I was at River Horse for about just under 2 years.
Okay.
And then I really didn't leave with the intention of starting a brewery myself. And to be honest, I never got into professional brewing with the idea of like, be sick to start my own brewery.
Okay, that's interesting.
Even to this day, I kind of sometimes joke to myself that I still would rather be working for someone else.
It's a hot idea.
Yeah, no, it's there's obviously the benefits.
It's a pain in the ass.
The benefits and joys of owning your own business are obviously kind of put into that. But I left River Horse. I got a job. I was basically interviewing at a couple different places. I don't want to say I left River Horse on bad terms. I just got kind of tired of the situation.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, well, screw this. I'm gonna find a job at another brewery. And I had interviewed both on the phone and in person with like 4 other places, and nothing really worked out. I got like a courtesy interview from a local brewery that Yards. Tom Kehoe and my buddy Rick. There, they'd give me a courtesy. They had just moved into a new facility, so they weren't even hiring. And at the time, they gave me an interview just for courtesy because of being friends. And then sort of weirdly enough, Founders has everything to do with this as well, like Founders Brewing. Some buddies of mine were in a band, and their van got abandoned in Grand Rapids. Actually, no, in Lansing, Michigan. And so I got like really drunk at a party with them one night and just said, in my typical like Philadelphia East Coast bravado was just like, fuck it, we're going to Lansing and getting your damn van. Like, your van's not staying there, it's not dying in Lansing. And
woke up the next morning.
Well, no, I realized everything, including like I'm pretty certain I put my balls in a bowl of spaghetti sauce, but the same party,
as one does.
Yeah, usually.
Is that a figure of speech or
no? That's literal.
That was a thing.
Wait,
put them Johns right in there.
The next morning or that
Did you say
night?
Johns?
I did.
Oh my God, he knows the word.
I know the word.
I love it. So we literally got in the van, like 10 days later, drove to Lansing, got the van, figured out what was wrong with it really quickly, and then we had to stay for about 24 hours because to get the van fixed. And so we said, screw it, let's drive the 45 minutes up to Grand Rapids and go to Founders.
Mm-hmm.
And then the weird thing is, like, driving out from Philadelphia to Lansing and then from Lansing to Grand Rapids, we had about 12 hours worth of time. And the two guys from the band was called One Win Choice, this awesome hardcore punk band from Philly and New Jersey that's no longer around. But
I'm glad you say that because the name sounds like a boy band.
What was the name?
One Win Choice. It actually comes from the boardwalks in New Jersey. Like, if you go to the boardwalk and you put $1 down to win something, One Win Choice.
I see. Okay,
that does sound like a hardcore fucking band.
Totally,
name.
great dudes, and really the birth of the brewery comes from them, because when we were driving out there, they had asked me. This is in between, like, leaving River Horse, and I had gotten a job at a craft beer store in Northeast Philly, and what are you going to do? I was like, well, like every other jerk-off home brewer and professional brewer, I have this dumb idea to start a brewery. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, what is it? Well, this is what I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, well, you should talk to Rob. And Rob was actually their merch guy who I was friends with, and I knew. And I knew Rob was a home brewer. Rob had called me on several occasions asking me questions because I was a professional brewer.
Okay.
And, I'd always answer the questions. And I said, well, what do you mean? Why should I talk to Rob? Rob's like, well, Rob got his degree from Rowan University in South Jersey in teaching, and he didn't want to be a teacher. He's like, fuck this, man. Teaching sucks.
Yeah.
Especially after being on the road with a punk band for a few years. And
F the youth, they can take care of themselves.
Exactly. He was substituting for a while and decided he really didn't like it. And then this whole conversation, this 12-hour van ride out to Grand Rapids and Lansing and Grand Rapids, they were like, you should, Rob totally would love to do this. I mean, like, he's homebrewing, blah, blah. So I started texting, back and forth with him, and then the idea went from, like, that crazy van ride out to Grand Rapids to, well, dude, if you want to do this, go to Siebel. And then he went to Siebel, and then boom, the brewery.
Okay. There's just two of you now?
No, there's three. So we picked up another partner about a year after that.
Somebody with the cash?
No, actually, no. It was one of the guys I was actually working with at the beer store. He actually went to culinary school in San Francisco. Was a sous chef at Hog Island Oyster
Nice.
Company.
Oh yeah.
But originally from our area, and I had met him at the beer store, at the craft beer store, and I had said to him at the beginning, I knew him before the beer store too, but not like super well. And I had said to him, like, well, if we do this, we'll start this production brewery, and then maybe we'll do a second location. That would, because there's no, understanding Pennsylvania law at the time too, there's no food involved with breweries.
Okay.
So we had no.
Could you have a tasting room? Or
not even until 2 years ago.
I see.
It wasn't until May of 2015 you could actually do on premise.
So that's why the production facility to start. Okay.
Yeah, totally. So that partner's name is Steve, and working with him for about a year was like, hey, yeah, dude, let's do this. I was like, well, let's get an idea together for a second location that would be food, because you can also do brew pubs in Philly, or Pennsylvania. And then after about 9 months, I one day at work, I was like, hey, you want to do this? He's like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, fuck it, let's go.
Nice.
So then that's really where the three partners came together. So.
Okay. All right. Well, and you've had a lot of success because you've won several awards at the Great American Beer Festival, for example.
We've been very, very fortunate.
Let's talk about this Helles that's in our glass.
Okay. Here, take some more.
It is, by the way, one of the best beers I've had in a long time. This is a really tasty beer.
It's really good.
And I think true to a Helles style. The Germans would be proud of you.
Thank you.
And tell us about the beer.
So this is
Tell us about the Helles.
Tell us about the Helles.
Oh, Jip.
Beer name.
That's why I love you.
This is our German style Helles. It's called Tamminen Helles. It's only available in draft during the summer. Well, definitely more than the summer, but the idea was originally to do a couple batches, and then we decided to make it as a draft only offering from April to October, and then it's become pretty popular that we've kept it around a little bit longer than that.
So I get it in my mind straight, and if it's not in draft, it's in cans?
No, not this beer isn't.
At all.
What is, when you package it?
We do. We do
What's
package
your format?
So we do 12, 16-ounce cans as well as draft, and then we also do for limited beers and like some of the seasonals, not all the seasonals, we do 22-ounce bombers and also 750s.
But not this one.
Not this beer. This beer is specifically draft only.
Summertime.
Yep.
But you bottled it for us.
We hand bottled it for you.
It's a hand bottle.
All right.
Why is this not available in cans everywhere, everywhere on Earth?
I saw the look in your eye. You actually got a little pissed.
I got mad at him.
Yeah, you
I was
did.
mad at your decision making.
I'm mad at myself for not making this show available.
Especially here.
Right.
Skip Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Send it here.
Fuck the rest of the country, but just conquered.
Just a production thing, honestly.
Stupid answer.
If it had a fuck ton of hops in it, it'd be in a can. I can tell you that much.
Why? Because you sell more of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, cans in particular, because of the quantities, the minimum purchases for cans.
Okay.
It makes it a little bit more difficult. This is actually something that once our next expansion is done early next year, we could definitely do in cans because we wouldn't be required to buy 25 pallets of printed cans at once or pay an exorbitant rate to have the sleeve wrapped.
Yeah.
Those add $5 more per case, so it's impossible for us to really offer a case of this to our distributor at like a much higher rate than like our IPA, for example.
Okay.
Not that ABV.
There aren't even enough Germans in Pennsylvania.
Actually, there are.
Popular?
There are actually Pennsylvania. 1 in 4 Pennsylvanians are German heritage.
Wow,
So.
but not enough Helles drinkers.
But your
Not
German
enough hand
heritage
drinkers.
doesn't mean you know what the fuck a Helles is. Helles has two problems.
The problem with that too is that the majority of Pennsylvania Germans are all Amish or Mennonites that don't drink.
Yeah,
so.
right. That I imagine is more of the problem.
Go back to Germany. Get off the road too. By the way, I'm trying to drive a fucking car.
Yeah. Also, can you make me an end table? Because
please, before you go.
They specialize in fireplaces. It's fireplaces.
Fireplaces and end tables.
Yeah.
Helles has two marketing problems, and one of them I thought would always be its benefit, and that is the name Helles. I always thought that Americans would love that. I don't think it translates.
If you call it a
very
blonde
well.
lager, it would do pretty well.
Exactly, and so it's really unfortunate because Helles is such a cooler name, but I don't think Americans have caught on to that. And then the other thing, of course, is that we would tend to think it's not hoppy enough, but it's such an awesome beer style. And so I guess what I'm saying is even as the beer style catches up, it still has that name problem.
Yeah, it's sort of like a cream ale. We make a cream ale as well.
Yeah, okay.
And it's
terrible name.
Horrible name for a style too, because everyone always thinks there's lactose or cream.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But
how do you get the milk in it without curdling?
Jesus. But that's a really good seller for us in draft, and then cans die off or slow down at least in the winter, and then like really take off in the summer.
Sure.
For that style, but like if we had just stupidly called it American Blonde Ale, it'd probably sell 10 times more.
Which I also think is a terrible name. Like, Helles is such a cool name, but people just don't get it.
No, not at all.
Well, tell us about the makeup of the beer, the ingredients of it.
So this is pretty much all Pilsen malt, and for this particular beer, a lot of carafoam, a whole lot of carafoam. And then
what's that for?
Just head retention. We're trying to get a little bit of body in it too. For this.
The body.
We're trying to, we're not doing a decoction mash on this, although we do a 2-hour boil on this beer.
Really?
To try to make up for the melanoidin content, the quality that you would get in this style. But it's just Pilsen, carafoam, and a smidge of Munich 10.
Okay.
And then
did you try a normal 1-hour boil and then
the
beer?
2? No, actually.
You went straight to.
Yeah, we went straight to 2 hours. This beer in particular, this is probably only I want to say, 5th or 6th time we've brewed this beer.
Okay.
We brewed it the first time, came out really well. We were really happy. It came out a little bit hoppier than we wanted it to be for Helles. It was kind of trending towards our Pilsner. So we backed off on the hops the second, and it's really been the same since then.
Okay.
This beer in particular, it's the yeast. It's the yeast, and really we're also very fortunate for a lot of breweries you don't see if you go into craft breweries. In Pennsylvania you might see them, but we have lagering tanks, so we have that advantage of this beer will spend 2 weeks in primary fermentation, and then we'll transfer to our lagering tanks where it'll spend upwards like. Right now, we have a 60 barrel that's about 75 days old before we're packaged.
So you do a traditional German lagering.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what about the hops in the beer?
It's just the Hercules is the bittering hop in this, and then it is one other addition of Spalter Select. That's it.
Okay.
So they're very, very little hops.
And how many IBUs do you think?
This one's about 18. Yeah. Yep, really low. So the original version was about 24, 25, and then we had to back off on it because we were definitely getting a little bit more utilization from our late kettle hops.
So instead of the 2-hour boil, why don't you just use like some melanoidin malt?
That's something we thought about. I was just worried about I was looking more for color from the kettle than I was from the melanoidin.
Now, as Pilsners are poured over the tap, this is a great beer. I'm sure 99% of the people that would try it at one of your outlets or in the store shelves and stuff are going to love it.
Yes.
But in terms of for competition, do you think it would be better with more melanoidin character? Or?
We'll find out in October.
You enter it every year?
Well, we didn't enter it last year. We're going to enter it this year.
What's the name? Is it defensive?
No, it's Tammany and Hellas. So it's named
you missed out on Dick Shitter Hellas.
It's not called like Slammin' Hellas.
Right up the Hellas.
You may want to slide that right in before the BA came out with their new guidelines.
That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I absolutely love this beer.
Thank you.
It's delicious.
It is. It's really good. You mentioned the yeast. Yeah.
So this yeast, actually, the yeast in all three of these lagers are the same. It's the Ondex Hellas yeast, or Ondex lager yeast from BSI.
Okay.
Which you can only get from BSI. So
and Ondex is obviously another great beer.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's why
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. So why we that's
Ondex.
why Ondex. That's why we use the yeast. So.
Okay. Do you raise the pitching rate for your lagers compared to
your
ales?
Yeah. So we're usually at like at ales we're usually at like 1. And this, we're at 1.5 to 2, usually higher rates, and then
sounds expensive.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's usually going to be about 1.5 to 2 million cells per milliliter. Okay. And then we're pretty, actually I always kind of joke around at it. I feel like that a lot of people just like, oh, dude, lagers are so hard. I can't figure this out. Why can't we do it? It's like, well, what have you been reading and what have you been listening to? It's not that difficult.
Right.
Yeah. It's all about pitch rate. It's all about the
temperature control.
Temperature control. So with this and all our lagers, we usually we'll be at 52 to 55 degrees. We'll go a little bit lower sometimes, but generally 52 to 55. This one's at 55 until we get about. It's not like a set day or a time amount. It's usually since we're open, we brew 24 hours a day. We're lucky in that respect where our guys are paying attention. Wow. Once it gets to about 8.5, 9 Plato, then the guys will ramp it up to 65.
Nice. It's almost a terminal.
Yeah. It's
not 8.5.
It'll
at 8.5 it is. Yeah.
At 8.5, it's only going to be about another day.
So
and a half.
you see the fermentation subside. That's probably what triggers it, right?
Yeah, I mean it'll get to 65 in the next day and a half, and then really our main thing is to avoid any diacetyl.
That's a good amount of time at that temperature. That's great.
Yeah, you're talking 8.5 Plato, not specific gravity.
Yes.
Right?
Plato. Yeah. 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 42, whatever.
And so that last part that is kind of a cleanup phase.
Yeah, we're trying to get. I actually see more diacetyl production from some of our ale strains than I do from any of our lager strains.
Okay.
Especially after the first 36 to really 48 to 72 hours. There's really going to be no esterification. We're not going to have any. We've never seen it anyway.
Okay.
Not enough that you can taste.
No, definitely not. I mean, I've had a few. We've done some sensory panels with. We're lucky that we've had. We do have a lot of. High-ranking BJCP judges in our territory.
Take advantage of that.
Yeah, we do. And they've noticed maybe some green apple, but I don't think that's actually from fermentation. I think it's more from it's usually they're noticing it in some packaged beers that are older where you're getting that oxidation converting back into that. So
that's a good point.
Do you pitch cold or just right at fermentation temperature?
We pitch right at fermentation temperature. We don't go cold and then rise up. We go right in at fermentation temperature and then go from there.
Okay,
that's what I figured.
It tastes like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the two main things are pitch rate and temp control.
Yeah.
Assuming that
patience is the
almost
third.
all okay.
Right. Yeah. 75
because there's still so many bad lagers out there.
Yeah.
I think the brewers getting better. I'm just trying to figure out what they're fucking up. I assume most brewers have temperature control, so we got that licked.
A little bit of water too. I mean,
okay.
We're lucky. This particular beer is 100% Reinheitsgebot. We don't do any brewing salts. There
Nothing.
I did actually totally forget that there is some acidified malt.
Fucking liar! Wow,
that's legal.
Small portion.
That's not legal, though, right?
What's that?
So, Citrulline malt's still legal, right?
Yeah, for Reinheitsgebot.
Right.
But there's whereas the Churchville, there's definitely some brewing salts in there. So that's not 100% Reinheitsgebot.
Okay, so you're saying then that you have really good water for lagers.
We have great water for lagers. Okay. We have great water for darker beers too. There's a lot of calcium carbonate, or not a lot, but it's a fair amount. Whereas for our hoppy beers, it's a little bit more of a challenge because there's almost zero calcium sulfate.
Okay.
In our beer, there's really not a whole lot of gypsum at all. So, but for lagers which makes sense Pennsylvania breweries, whether it be Yuengling or Victory, there's a lot of reputation in our state, for lager breweries, and I think it has a lot to do with not just the German heritage, but also the water that we have there. Nice. I keep on smacking.
That's all right. Did you start
aggressive?
Did you go in with lager beers because you were a fan, or because the public there?
No,
kind of
totally from
required
100%. Like we were on board with lagers right from the beginning. We also got really lucky when we bought our brew house. It came with 3 lagering tanks. We got a used JV Northwest 15-barrel brew house that came with 3 30-barrel lagering tanks. Got it. So, I mean, our intention and our plan was right from the beginning to do lagers anyway, but it just made it a lot easier. Excuse me, that we had the lagering tanks with us.
Okay.
What temperature are you doing the lagering at?
Usually at 40 degrees.
Okay.
40 degrees, and then we'll crash down to 32 degrees. Right now, we spin all our beers through a centrifuge.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
But no post filtration, no post, like lenticular filter or like plate filter. Yeah. All 100%, just the centrifuge. Yep.
Do you? Is it?
Not all our beers, but the lagers. Yeah.
What's the difference in clarity? I mean, it seems like after that long lagering phase and then getting it down to 32, is there like a major? It's SRM is not the right word, but like the clarity,
turbidity.
The turbidity. Thank you. If you didn't run it through the centrifuge, can you really notice a difference?
Definitely. Churchville, when it won its first medal in 2013, was a completely unfiltered or on the centrifuge beer, and it had a little bit of haze to it.
Okay.
We kind of joked that we haven't had a gold medal. We won a bronze for it again last year, but we just joked that we haven't got a gold medal since we started
filtering it.
Since we were throwing it through the centrifuge.
Did you enter in Keller Weiss when you were not filtered?
That would be a good idea, actually. So, but I mean, there's a little bit of difference. But I if anything, I notice more like when you have a little bit of like protein and yeast still in suspension, a little bit more bitterness, which you would just counter anyway. Especially in these beer styles, you don't want a whole lot of that anyway.
That's right.
So,
all right, let's talk about the next one. We got a great Vienna lager in our glass too. I'm a big fan of this style.
The aroma smells amazing. I mean, just biscuity and a little bit of grainy.
Yep.
Very malty.
I'm definitely getting the melanoids in this.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
No decoction on this.
No decoction. We just did we didn't do decoction, but we just did a all Pennsylvania malt version of this beer, actually. So there's a bunch of micro malters in our area.
Oh, that's cool.
So we got one W malt, which is about an hour from us, that is doing their own Munich 10, 20 in Vienna and whatnot. So we did
the whole deal.
Yeah.
So where's it grown?
It's grown in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So there's actually Penn State University has a big barley grow research program. And I know that a lot of the, whether it be Double Eagle or Deer Creek is another smaller micro malter in our area, that they're working really well with a lot of the, particularly not just particularly Penn State, but a bunch of the universities and research people in our area, because they're doing a lot of research barley. So,
okay.
Some of that's starting up here in California.
Mm-hmm.
How much? Can you give me a rough idea how much more you pay for those?
Too much. Way too much.
Too much more.
It's a lot more.
Double, triple. Just rough idea.
4 times more.
Wow.
Depends on the malt company. That's actually been the biggest barrier for us when it comes to using more local malt, is that I really can't justify spending 4 or 5 times more per pound on Munich or Vienna malt.
Right.
When we get Weyermann's Vienna or Munich malt,
which is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like how can you tell me that I'm gonna spend 4 or 5 times more for that malt when this malt's pretty fucking good?
Yeah,
right.
They should change the phrase from buy local to spend local.
Yeah,
because that's really what you're doing.
Spend more of your money here.
Yeah.
Well, we've done a few batches. Like we did a California Common with actually Deer Creek has this what they call Pennsylvania Dutch malt that I've never had. It's supposed to be a Munich. Actually, I don't want to say it's supposed to be. It's their Munich 20 style malt, and I've never had one that has a distinctive, almost chocolate type character to it, with not it being chocolate.
It's still 20 Lovibond?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. Oh. I mean, I don't even know if Breeze is, 20 Lovibond. But no, I mean, they're it's probably they're trying to get it in that, so it's probably very close. But it made like a very distinctive character, and as soon as I tasted it, I was like, I want to make a California Common out of that. Let's do that. So, but for the PA version, the all PA malt version of Churchill Lager that we just did, that's going to be. We're really lucky that every time we've won these Philly Beer Scene Awards as Brewer of the Year or Brewery of the Year, we get to brew the beer that's going to go on tap for the next year.
Nice.
So actually, the Kleiner friend.
You're dictating all that.
No. That's they do. I mean,
no, but I mean, like, but you're.
Yeah, we can make whatever we want.
Right.
Yeah. So the Kleiner Friend, which is the kettle soured, saison that is here, that was last year's Philly Beer Scene Awards beer.
Okay.
And this year we decided to make an all Pennsylvania malt version of. I was actually trying to do all Pennsylvania malt, all Pennsylvania hops, but finding like whole lever, Hallertauer or Tettnang was getting really difficult. But
of course.
But yeah, I mean, it's also you're not going to do a whole lot of those batches because at 4 times more per pound, it's
difficult.
You're not going to package a whole lot of it. Draft. You're going to keep it in draft and try to keep that profit margin.
Yeah, otherwise you don't make any money at all.
No, you get crushed on it. So
what is the malt bill on this one?
So this is a little bit of Munich 10, a lot more Munich 20, Vienna, and a little bit of Carafone. That's really this beer. It's the majority of it's. I'm pretty sure it's.
Crib sheet.
I have some cheat sheets that Meat Man.
That's all right.
The Meat Man, Eric, who you were talking. I said to you earlier, our lab manager who couldn't make it,
but he's here somewhere.
He's in Walnut Creek in a hotel room right now.
Oh no,
thrown up, and it's coming out of both ends.
Be honest with me. Did he get a hangover, or he got
no? His wife's a doctor. Well, I didn't know this until right before he left. Before I left, I took Bart up here because I wasn't planning on being able to.
Okay. Oh no, dude. Yeah, that's a smart.
Good call.
But he talked to his wife. His wife's a doctor, and apparently she's got the same symptoms.
Oh shit!
So she may have brought something home from the hospital or something like that.
Oh, that sucks.
Let me look at the cheat sheets.
Women.
And I gotta yep.
Right.
Yeah. So
you should have come in for a check.
That's right. We could have helped him. Put our fingers
I told him, I was like, dude, if you show up at 8:30, you can still make it. Like,
that's right.
I'm fairly certain you can still make it. So it's like.
Is he listening? You think?
He's probably listening.
If we call him, would we hear?
Yeah, let's call him.
Just get him on the line.
I told him I was. He literally startled this morning. So he's like, I don't know if I can go, man. I might be the first person to throw up on air.
Oh, that's okay, as long as it doesn't get us sick.
That's what I said.
Warren did that once.
No, that's right. He would be the second person.
It's official. It didn't happen.
I have video.
Did you swallow it?
No, there wasn't anything there.
It came out like a plug.
Right.
Like a plug of hops. It's like,
yeah.
You don't understand, the first person I asked, when you guys invited us on, the first person I asked to come out, and I was like, well, let's fly out there. We were already going to CBC.
Okay.
So last week was a wash. I was in the brewery for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I just said, fuck it. Let's go out on Sunday. We'll take an early flight. Get out
so
there.
Glad you did.
I'm like, we're obviously super stoked to be here, but we could also grab some, go to some breweries, check those out, do the whole thing. You just screw it. Let's do it. We're basically 7 or 8 days. I'm not going to be in the brewery anyway. And the first person I went to was Eric because, he would be the first person to say to you guys that he's the reason why he actually became a professional brewer.
Oh, cool.
Huge supporter of the beginning. And then, and I actually knew Eric before the brewery. We took our BJCP course together in 2008. And he's in my brother-in-law's homebrew club, and then he was a clinical researcher for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So he has a background in biology and clinical research and everything. So when the brewery started, he had come to me and said, "Hey, I got offered another internship at another brewery." Well, actually, he came to me first and was like, "Are you hiring?" And I said, "No, not yet. We're getting there." And then about 5 months later, he said, "Hey, I got offered this internship at this other brewery." And I said, "No, you didn't. You're coming to work for us."
Turns out I'm hiring right now.
We're hiring right now.
Yeah. Fuck, I should try that.
And his main
just opened up.
His main stipulation was, "Look, man, this is great. Obviously brewers don't get paid as much as clinical researchers. At cancer research centers for children."
Wow, too soon.
Yeah.
Is it ever not too soon
for children's cancer?
Children's cancer?
She's the real hero in the room. Let's be honest.
She?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
that just flew over my head.
Yeah, everybody's.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just hover above everybody's head for an hour.
It's like a rain shower.
And then occasionally one person in the room goes, "Oh,
yeah,
I got you,
right.
JP."
It'll be 3 shows later.
Yeah.
I remember that shitty joke.
Yeah. They're helicopter jokes. They just kind of hang.
Yeah, right over.
But it's just a shame that it's a total shame that he's basically.
That's too bad.
He probably shit himself 3 or 4 times.
Wow. Well, tell him to send us a picture of that.
Pixar didn't happen.
Pixar didn't exactly.
Yeah, really.
So. All right, and before I got to get us to break, we've got one more beer.
I'll talk forever. So
I do have
That's okay.
I have a question from the chat about the Helles before we move too far away. This one's from HH. He says, I was looking at Brewing Classic Styles to answer a Hellas question earlier tonight, and Jay-Z suggests at least 4 weeks of lagering. The guest said his Hellas is 75 days old. Does he think he gets much more from Hella lagering?
We don't purposely keep all of our, whether it be the Hellas or any of our other lagers, at 75 days. We usually try to do at least 42 days. But then we rip it out of tanks based on necessity. So right now,
is there a tasting process, or is it really just a time? You see what I mean?
I mean there has been. I wouldn't say we do it all the time.
Yeah.
But where does the beer change? I mean, say the beer has only been lagering for 3 weeks. You notice a big difference there versus
like 3 to
4?
3. Yeah, definitely.
It makes a change.
Yeah, there is a change. It's cleaner. It's smoother. The malt, especially with the malt profile.
Texture? I mean, cleaner because the beer's probably pretty clean before you even start day one lager, right?
I mean, cleaner would be like there's less. Obviously, we're tasting it, prior to centrifuging, so there's less. The longer you lager it, the less yeast there is.
Sure.
I mean, the clarity too, but there's also like you're not having. There's not a whole lot of yeast in suspension, so less yeast bite. All that stuff.
Yeah, things that would make the beer not as clean or clear, if you will.
So, I mean, we do minimum 42 days, but if we don't need it, it doesn't have to come out of tanks. It stays.
So then you make a tasting panel thing and you go like, it's ready to go.
I mean, if I had a choice, we'd leave every beer at 75, 80 days because it tastes awesome.
But there's another beer behind it.
Yeah.
You're out of that
usually,
beer.
So for us, 42 days. If 35 is sort of minimum. I mean, if we need a tank, we'll rip the beer out at 35 days. But
you notice that, like when you have the beer on tap yourself and at your place or wherever you have it, you notice the difference between the 35 and the 70?
Subtle differences.
Anybody else that had the beer would notice it?
I'm not going to say no.
But I mean, it's only the average guy at the bar.
The average guy is not going to notice it. No. I mean, the 35 to 42 day difference, you're not going to see.
Yeah, but fuck the average guy.
That's not a reason to not do it.
No, but I mean, it's a business.
Okay.
I mean,
but
really,
he's saying when he needs the tank, he uses the tank.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel bad about that.
We say minimum 42 days. So if we really are. And again, these are lagers, so it's not like we're like ripping through a ton of them. It depends on the time of year too, but I mean, really minimum 35 days, but really we're usually at 42.
You say they're lagers. I mean, your flagship beers are not lagers?
No, I mean our IPA and our double IPA by far outsell our lagers.
It's still America.
It's still, this is still America. And it's still American craft beer.
Don't forget the guy with the money in his hand.
Yeah.
That's what
if IPA was called Hellas, I wonder if it would still sell.
That's what I was thinking. Have you thought about rebranding your Hellas as an IPA?
Session IPA.
Maybe we'll do that for the canned version.
Yeah. Golden IPA.
Golden Session IPA.
We should do that with our Pilsner because we have a German style Pilsner that I'm absolutely in love with, and I think it's a favorite around the brewery.
Why don't you marry it?
I will. Okay. Actually,
if it was allowed, it's not allowed in Pennsylvania.
It might be. Yeah.
Haven't checked.
One of the first states, so no. But I mean, our lager, our Pilsner, our German style Pilsner, we're probably going to have to relegate to a seasonal type thing, even in cans, because it just.
That's sad to me.
It sucks, man.
Yeah. That's fucking... Yeah. See, IPAs are killing craft beer, I'm telling you. I'm just telling you right now.
I won't disagree with that, but...
They're not killing the craft beer business.
No,
but they're killing creativity.
They're attention whores.
I genuinely wonder what would happen if a brewery labeled every one of its beers IPA, but made a normal portfolio
no matter
of different
what,
beers. Every beer was called an IPA.
Vienna IPA, Hellas IPA.
It'd probably sell.
Swords IPA.
I wonder what their sales mix would be like.
I mean, half the shit that's out there looks like fucking Hefeweizen anyway. So.
Right. Yeah, especially up in your neck of the woods.
I was told to start that conversation. I already got text message saying like, oh, well, this side, New England IPA's conversation's already going off.
It's
I'm like,
a whole goddamn thing on this show. I got to listen to it all the time.
Yeah, you do. And you get feedback.
I mean, try being a brewery in that area. Which there's a bunch of breweries, a lot of breweries that are doing that.
Yeah,
it's tough because we.
Do you get pressure for that?
Absolutely,
that? Really?
Yeah, and we give zero fucks.
You do. So
what is your IPA?
Do you not have a what's it called? Cloudy IPA, Northeast IPA?
Never called Vermont.
What we have in our portfolio right now, so our core IPA and then the double IPA we're going to drink in the next session is they're both filtered West Coast style IPAs. Well, not filtered, but spun.
Okay.
We used to use Biofine before we got our centrifuge. I definitely come from that I like bitterness in my beer, or IPAs anyway.
Okay.
My major complaint with the New England style would be is I want it's not that like they can't have bitterness, but like all of them don't.
Yeah,
like the majority of them don't, and that's not to me. That's fine. You can make that beer style. But it's not an IPA.
Yeah,
to me, it'll never be an IPA.
That's what we kind of bitch about it. It's like if you like those beers and you gravitate to them, you don't like IPAs.
Absolutely,
because IPAs in general, West Coast IPAs have bitterness. Those beers don't have bitterness.
These are muddled.
They're pale ale.
Yeah, but the other side of that too is like at least the way we can talk about this more when we get to it too. But like because there's also this rock beer here.
Yes.
There's a million different ways to skin a cat, and to us it's not that like you can't have a cloudy beer, but like for a production brewery, we're not trying to leave yeast and trub in suspension for a beer that we're sending out to the market because that beer is going to taste like shit in about 20 days.
See, and my problem is sort of different than yours, which is actually proof of what JP's saying because I'm not the biggest fan of IPAs. So the what I don't like about some of the super cloudy beers is the bitterness I get from drinking yeast, like that different kind of bitterness.
Yeast
I don't mind the cloudy ones that don't have bitterness and they have that cool hop flavor. Like I don't care. I think it's fine.
I mean, we want that hop flavor. I want a little bit of the bitterness, and also the other side too is I think a lot of these brewers have forgotten about malt. It's all about late kettle hops. I mean, late kettle hops. It's all about whirlpool hops and everything else. But they're making these thin, bastardized versions of beer that I don't want to drink.
Right.
Here's what I think the movement's going to be in 10 years. Like, the Guinness widget where it has the nitrogen in the little widget. You crack the thing, the pressure breathes the thing. It's going to have a charge of hops in there.
Oh.
And it's going to be all just fermented beer, fermented wort, right? But no hops. And then once you open the beer, it's like immediate hopping.
From?
And that's going to be the new extreme beer.
I'd be willing to try that, though.
It's not a horrible idea.
It's not.
I mean, I know don't want it to happen, JP, but you're actually giving out a pretty cool idea.
It might suck, but at least it's worth trying. That's the thing about the New England style, that I do appreciate is that, like the biotransformation, all these ideas behind it. There's a lot of cool, things in that as a brewery that we want to try. But on the same respect, I'm not trying to put, we call them shelf turds.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not
That's a very appropriate name.
It is because and I'm definitely not going to call any of these breweries, but I've had so many of these breweries where they make. And I'm sure, I've had them fresh, and I've unfortunately had more of them when they're like 4 weeks old, and they taste like shit.
Right.
Because they're not made for that. I mean, that's why they're selling them on premise.
Yeah.
And I get that because that makes sense. I mean, totally, as brewers, we want people to drink our beer when it's, as fresh as it can be. And if you're making a beer that only has a 2-week shelf life, boom. Yeah. That's the style you want.
I say it's the performance art of beer. It's only good when it comes right out of the tank.
Yeah.
After that,
and even then,
you might as well dump it.
It's weird.
And there's other things too that I've
like
had
the fact that you just spent $20,000 on a centrifuge, and now you're going to produce a beer.
$20,000?
That's fucking cloudy.
$20,000. I don't know about that.
Tell me where to get that centrifuge.
More like the mortgage on my house.
Are they really? Okay.
Try to explain that to your wife. Like, well, this shit's worth more than our house. It's cool. It's like the size.
It's the size of our car, but more than our house.
It's smaller than my car. Like I got a Jetta wagon. This thing's like half the size of the fucking
like the washing machine.
Yeah, literally. So
this smoke beer is amazing.
It is.
So this is a rock beer?
This is a rock beer. There's a German, technically an Oktoberfest American.
Okay.
I really wish the meat man, Eric, was here.
Well, wait. When you say technically a Märzen wouldn't be smoky, would it?
It's a smoked Märzen.
Okay.
So, like, if you have Sri Lanka and anything like that, they'll have, like, wheat beer or what they call their Märzen or their Helles smoked beer.
Okay.
So this beer actually, what you're drinking now is the first and only time we've brewed this beer.
Really?
It won a medal at GABF the first and only time. We're going to brew it again in about 6 weeks.
Which year?
Go for it.
What's that?
Said which year?
Last year.
Oh, okay.
So we brewed it in June, lagered it until August, and then kegged it, hand bottled it for GABF, and then about 6 weeks after GABF, we bottled it because we only pulled 15 barrels out of a 30-barrel tank just to do GABF.
Okay.
I just asked because I imagine it sells like molasses.
It's fucking the worst.
Yeah. it tastes great. But no one would buy it on a
we
shelf.
We did 180 cases of Bombers, and I think we still have 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would take all of them right now.
I would too.
Yeah.
The only thing I care about this beer is having a giant plate of charcuterie in front of me with it.
You're a man who loves your charcuterie too.
Perfect pairing. Yeah. And I you generally
a little bit of cheese wouldn't hurt either. So
cheese,
sharp cheddar.
It would go great. And
extra
actually,
sharp. Fuck
normally
you.
I would have taken one sip of this beer and then just talked about it politely.
Yeah.
But I am finishing this beer. It's really great. I'm just saying the only thing that would make it better is a plate of charcuterie.
Well, he
cheese.
sent the 30 cases here.
Oh, they're here.
So we
You want
have
some
to
more?
go
We can
through-
do that.
When I booked him, I was like, we're going to drink all of them.
So keep it coming.
Yeah,
It's also a shame that Eric, that I keep on calling him Meat Man because that's his nickname around the brewery.
Okay.
Why?
You want to know?
You
why?
don't want to know? Yeah, we want to know.
Yeah.
Swinging that hog, or what's
he
going
brings
on?
it.
I'll tell the story. It's cool.
All right.
All right. So Eric is actually the first hired brewer. Like I said, he worked at this children's hospital doing clinical research, and then we basically right after we had just started bottling. We have a 6-head Maheen. This is when we were just doing 22-ounce bottles of like some of our core brands, but before we had gone to cans and whatnot. And one of the first times we had Bob, we had asked Eric, we're like, "Hey, dude, can you stay late? This bottling run's gonna take a little bit of time."
Yeah.
But it's basically only 4 of us. It's myself, my 2 partners, and Eric. All of us just bottling the IPA. And of course, with 4 people there, everyone's getting shitty.
Yeah.
Bottles are coming off. You're pounding bottles, and Eric got fucking smashed. Well, we all got smashed. So
Yeah,
So then, at the time, him and his wife were just starting to try to have a kid.
Okay.
So he texted his wife and said like, "Hey, I'm going to be a little late," and she said, "That's fine, just as long as you bring home the meat." She's going to hate that I
She
said this.
wasn't talking about dinner.
No, she wasn't. She was talking about dessert. So literally, I mean, he was wasted. He had like his shirt off. He's like, "Woo!" By the end of the bottling run, but we're like, "That's the meat man.
Yeah,
he's bringing the meat."
And he's been the meat man ever since.
He's been the meat man ever since. I mean,
meat man
his email address is actually NCBC meat. So it's definitely he's lived the epitome.
He's owning it.
He's personified the.
So how many kids do they have?
Right.
2 now. That would it definitely worked.
It worked.
That was their first, and now they're on their second. So
All right.
they just had their second son just arrived five months ago.
Wow.
So
congratulations, Meat Man.
Meat Man, yeah.
So tell us about the malt beer bill here.
So this is 80% Wireman smoked malt.
Nice.
Wow, really?
80%.
Wow, it doesn't have that big, strong smoke here.
It's a little old now.
So it's when it was first, like the fresh stuff was like.
Even when it was fresh, I would. So the history or the basis of this beer was that this beer came from the first intra brewery competition that we had. So we told all the people, all the staff. So right now we're at 34 employees. We said, "Hey, we're going to have an intra brewery competition, and then the 3 owners are going to pick, the beer, the winner, and then we're going to make it." And so our old lead brewer, Jason Rank, who's now actually the head brewer at a brewery downtown called Second Story, him and Meat Man, giant rock beer fans, brewed this beer together. And then it won because it was fucking awesome. It was a great beer. And then we brewed it, and the intention, not to say that the intention was never to do GABF, but we brewed it, and then like 4 weeks in the tank, I pulled a sample, and I said to Jay, I was like, "Dude, we got to fucking enter this in GABF."
Yeah, it's the category we could win in.
Yeah, I said, well, not even that. I mean, I was like, really, man, this is a really good beer.
Yeah.
And Jay being, the polite and modest guy he is, he's like, "Oh, you sure, man? I don't know, man. Like, really, man? Like, we have so many other beers we can enter." I'm like, "No, dude, this beer's going to GABF. We're putting this beer in." And
it won.
Yeah, it was the first one out of the 2 last year that got called. And as soon as it happened, I looked at him, like, "Fuck yeah!
I told you!
I fucking told you!"
Yeah.
And you're
fired.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, he quit. No, he didn't quit. He took a job. It was heartbreaking for him to leave. And we're still great friends and whatnot.
That's
but
good.
I can't imagine. I can a little bit because he told me. But 2 weeks after we win the medal for this beer, he's,
I gotta go.
He's like, this is an opportunity I gotta take. So, but no, it's 80% Wireman smoked malt, and then Munich Type 1 Wireman, and then Carafoam. So to make up the rest, and it's just Hercules is the bittering hop, and then it's Tettnang. Like,
like the Helles in the Vienna, it's got great body.
Yeah.
I think the body it helps you add the extra smoke. Offsets it.
When this beer is fresh too, even at 80% smoked malt, you hear that and you're like, fuck it.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of smoked malt, but it doesn't drink like that at all.
What are the finishing gravities of these beers?
So this beer comes out at 5.6% alcohol. If I remember correctly, because it's been a while when we brewed it in June of last year.
Sure.
And the only time we brewed it, I want to say it finished at 3.6.
Okay.
So it's not super high, and whatnot, but it's got some body to it.
Sure.
And that's one of the things I think We have a tendency to make a really dry beer, and actually I think this beer the smoke helps too. Is a pretty dry beer as well, but it's not under attenuated. It doesn't taste sweet or anything like that. So
exactly,
it's not wordy. That's
attenuation.
And the key, honestly, the only influence I had on this beer at all was they had used our Pilsner yeast in the pilot version for the competition, and I said to them, like, well, what do you think about using that Ondex yeast? And that's the only.
And it worked. You didn't think to say you're insane for using 80% of the smoke malt?
I know between the two of them, Meat Man was a little concerned. Yeah, he was like 80%, and Jay was like, nah, fuck it, dude, let's do it. Like 80%, smoke or go to fuck home,
Yeah.
So no, when they gave me the recipe, we did the judging and we obviously picked the beer, and then when he gave me the recipe, I was like, really, dude? Like 80%? He's like, yeah, man, like 80%. So,
but it worked.
It worked.
Yeah. Well, the Schlenkerla is 100%.
Yeah,
Jesus,
really?
Right? Yeah.
And if you've ever had that,
I hate that beer.
Anywhere in Bamberg or like Bavaria, and or like I just had a bottle of it in Nuremberg in November, and it was. I only finished it because my German friends would have thought I was a giant dick if I hadn't.
If you didn't, yeah.
I was like, fuck it, I'm in Nuremberg. I'm going to get this. And I was like, fuck, this sucks. It didn't suck. It was just like, wow, this is basically like a house on fire in my mouth right now.
Let me lick more burnt wood with bacon on it.
More like burn down a house and then eat every timber.
Right.
I would do that.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Well, this one came out awesome.
Well, thank you.
All the three of these beers, and it sounds like we got a couple more to try.
We have 4 more, bro.
What? Okay. 3, 4 more. Shit.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. While we're on the break, here's something you can do. Go check out beersmith.com and download the Beersmith brewing software. Brad over there at Beersmith does a great job, and you don't have to take my word for it because you get a free 21-day trial of the software. It works on a PC and a Mac. It does all the things you need it to do and a bunch of things you don't even know you need it to do, like calculating how ridiculous it would be to put 80% smoke malt in your beer.
I think there's an alert from Brad. Brad says, why are you a dick?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
And Jeremy writes back, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Go to beersmith.com, download the software. You'll love it, I promise. And if I'm wrong, you didn't have to pay anything anyway, so easy peasy. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more from Neshaminy Creek Brewing, and 4 more beers.
At least 3.
Okay. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection. With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. The end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out.
What?
Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love.
With love?
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where?
Moylan's.
You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers!
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
BN Army, have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone Certification Program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American wheat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone Certification Program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone Certification Program. We know beer.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
This is Matt Brennelson from Firestone Walker Brewing Company, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
You are, and thanks for joining us. A couple more things to do, and by things to do, I mean we've got more beer to drink. 3 more in front of me. I already tasted one. It's really good. All great beer from Neshaminy Creek. Wanted to remind you about craftbeer.com. Wonderful website. You need to go check it out. And, they got a brewery finder over there on craftbeer.com. So now that there are more than 5,000 breweries in the U.S., craftbeer.com brewery finder, published by the Brewers Association, has them all. It's the most robust U.S. brewery finder, whether you're traveling or exploring your own city. You can find brewers by current location or search in other states. You'll find directions and contact info straight to the brewery finder. Just probably annoying for people like Jeremy. You can also find brewery social handles on Brewery Finder, so you can keep up on the latest news from your favorite breweries. Just go to craftbeer.com and make sure and check out the Brewery Finder.
That's what we pay for our BA membership right there, is the Brewery Finder.
Yeah.
Hey, bring them in.
It's a pretty killer resource, actually. They have so many good resources.
I actually feel like we get more, not more, but like random people that like this week, like last week was CBCB in DC.
Yeah.
You had all these people coming down from New England in New York. And we're right off of 95, just outside the city.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, dude, I stopped at the brewery before I hit DC. Like,
nice.
Fucking, it was great. It was like, sweet.
And the Brewers Association does so many cool things like that, like the Craft Brewers Conference.
Yeah.
And then, of course, every other year, that's when we go to it when they do the World Beer Cup, too.
We used to got to tell them never to come back to Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah, you know why?
It's a pain in the ass.
Well, when it's in your hometown, it sucks.
Yeah.
Because you still have to make beer.
Wait, so it was in Philadelphia last year?
Last year, yeah. I had a full conference pass last year, and I went for all of 4 hours.
Really?
It sucked. It's like, well... Shit, I got to work.
Yeah.
You know, whereas like DC, I can at least justify, like, well, I'm going to drive 3 hours not to work.
You have no choice but to not
or,
work.
Or, you know, Denver, and I think it's like goes Nashville, Denver, San Diego the next couple of years, I think. So
It's Nashville, right?
It's Nashville
next
year.
Right on.
Which is great.
That's awesome. It's a World Beer Cup year, so I get to go, and Nashville is such a killer town.
I haven't been there, so I'm pumped on it.
It's so good. Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, of course I want to go.
Yeah, now that Push quit, you're back in the mix.
Yeah! Hey! Hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
I'm in the mix.
You can stand around and look at me like I'm a weirdo now.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm
You guys
good
gonna
at
wear your
that.
cowboy boots?
Kim, you know what? No one... Yeah.
No one in Nashville wears cowboy boots.
You're gonna get them while you're there.
I
I want
actually
them to be
have
authentic.
experience
I got
running
you.
video editing software and video broadcasting software, so I might be more useful than...
Now, you're saying you know how to
He's
use
making
it
a
now?
pitch, man.
Well, I'm saying I already did know.
So do I.
always know.
You probably know more about brewing,
Oh.
too. Just saying...
Probably.
Jeremy, no one cares.
Don't make us.
I mean,
I'm
I'm new here, but just making some general assumptions.
Some observations there.
He doesn't know shit. No. All right, so we've got a couple more beers to try from Neshaminy Creek.
Any way you want to say it. You can say Dickhole Creek. I
like
don't care.
I like to at least attempt to say it right.
Teabag Creek.
Teabag Creek's a good one. I like that one.
If enough people became offended by your name, would the Brewers Association not be able to acknowledge any awards you win in the future?
They would not.
You know what? Weirdly enough, they've said it correctly every time we won a medal.
Because they practice.
If they said it wrong, I didn't notice. Because, well, the first time I heard, like, Neshaminy, I think I heard Neshaminy, then everyone around me, you know, and myself included, was just like fucking freaking out. So I didn't even hear the beer name. And last year I heard it, though, so they said it correctly.
So the first beer in our glass is a kettle sour.
This is a kettle sour saison. Yeah.
It tastes like a real sour. Not that kettle sour isn't real.
Well, it's a little bit of both worlds.
Okay.
It's really good.
This is the beer that we made for Philly Beer Scene Awards last year. It's a kettle sour saison brewed with coriander, lemongrass, and orange peel.
Okay.
The Beer Scene Awards usually have a color theme. So last year their color theme was orange, and that's where we were kind of going with it.
Okay.
So we kettle soured it. We purposely didn't go down too low. We went down to 3.6. We weren't trying to get super acidic and super tart. Then went to stainless primary fermentation with French saison yeast.
Okay.
Which did not like the pH at all.
Really?
Yeah. It finished where we wanted to, but it just took a long time to get there. It took 14 days, but it finished at like 0.9 Plato.
Did that freak you out, like that it wasn't going to finish?
No, because we had some experience with the yeast before, and we knew that it doesn't give a shit. It'll eventually, it's like Saison DuPont yeast. It halfway through, it'll basically give you the middle finger. And
it's on its own damn time.
And then it'll wake up and say, "All right, let's party." That's French Saison yeast does a similar type thing. Whereas
it's very French, really.
You're very French. Oh, fuck you.
Not working.
It does its thing, and then we put it in the barrels. We put it into wine barrels with. We did East Coast Dirty Dozen Brett, which is their 12 different isolates of Brett strains from Al Bucket East Coast yeast with I believe it was about 40 pounds of peaches per barrel. 40 pounds. And then did that for 4 months, pulled it off, and then this is all of our saisons, all of our sours are 100% bottle and keg carbonated, so 100% re-fermentation in the keg and the bottles as well.
So that's what you mean by the kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah. And we're trying to accelerate the souring process. Well, not always, because we definitely have some beers that have a couple, 4 or 5 right now we're going to start seeing coming off that are, 18 to 28 months old. We just did our first couple. We have 4 fooders in house too, so we're doing a lot more barrel aged stuff. But we have our first turbid mash lambics that are just been hanging out in fooders right now. We're about to rack them off into barrels and then hit them with more Brett, and then in about a month hit them with Raspberries, and about a month after that, we're gonna throw some more pedo and lacto in them as well.
Wow.
So,
but this beer doesn't have any pedo or lacto. It's just those Brett strains?
Just from the kettle sour.
Okay, I see.
So this is Brevis, lacto Brevis in the kettle sour. Which I'd be a liar to say we didn't learn a little bit from Jay and the guys from all the kettle sour conversations they've had.
Good
on the sour hour.
Awesome.
People shit on like kettle sours a lot
Because a lot of them don't come out well.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with them. You definitely do. And there's definitely been a lot of information out there, whether it's like the Milk to Funk, which there's people on that whole forum that talk some shit too. But like if you pay attention to it, like it's not hard to make a good one, but it's also not hard to fuck it up either.
Sure.
I don't want to say there's a thin line between the two, but like basically if you fuck it up, just don't release it.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to put it.
Which is the simplest advice.
Yeah.
It's
If
hard
it
to let
sucks,
go.
don't put it out.
Yeah. You're right about this not being too acidic and not too dry. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like this is, I could drink a pint. It doesn't have to be a little tulip glass of this beer because I think it's really easy to drink. The Brett, I guess all those different strains that are in that blend really comes through.
That whole 12 strain, mixture that Al makes definitely accentuates more, at least in my opinion, accentuates more of the fruity side. So definitely going towards more stone fruit, like the peaches and stuff like that. It was a good mix.
There's a particular. Go ahead.
I was going to ask what was the inspiration behind adding the peaches because I really like the little tannin and peach skin flavor.
Originally, we were trying to do clementine oranges, but we couldn't get those so we get a lot of our fruit from suppliers that usually not a puree, but like whole fruit, where we'll actually mash it down ourselves.
Okay.
Excuse me. So we were trying, because of the whole orange theme, whether it be, there was lemongrass, coriander, and then the bitter, the sweet orange peel in the kettle. We were trying to continue that orange theme. Mm-hmm. This bottle didn't have it, but the ones that that were at the award ceremony had a really thick orange wax on them as well.
Okay.
That's usually where, like this year, I don't even know what the color. I actually told Matt
I hope it's
Philly
purple.
Christine, I was like, fuck it, dude, this is what we did. He's like, all right, cool. And I was like, I don't know what color theme here, but this is what we're doing. But that's usually, they try to do that every year. So.
I was trying to put my finger on one of the flavors I really like in this beer, and I think you just nailed it, Beardy. It's the tannin. It has just a really nice, that I think also goes well with the Brett.
Right, yeah. This, like I would have guessed apricot, but when you said peach, that's where it is.
We get a lot of. I noticed a lot too from the yeast bay, because we've been using a lot of the yeast bay's mixed strains as well, like the melange. It gives you a lot, at least in what we've been getting out of our fooders, is a lot of the like the stone fruit, like apricot. And we actually wanted to do apricot with this instead of peaches, but just they were out of season or something like that, and we couldn't get the quantity that we wanted for apricots anyway. But they were like, peaches, shit, yeah, man, here you go.
Yeah,
all the IQF peaches you want, so that worked out really well for this beer.
Yeah, it definitely fits in with the orange peel and the coriander and the Brett strains for sure.
How do you say the name of this beer?
So this is Kleiner Friend, and so the image on the label is actually my dog that died the day this beer was born.
Really?
You're gonna make Tasty cry.
Yeah. No, so not to make everyone cry, but like the day that I was gonna brew this beer, my dog, who was 18 years old at the time, I had to put him down that day. So it was on a Saturday, and needless to say, the beer didn't get brewed that day.
Right.
I put my dog down at 10 o'clock in the morning, then I went to the brewery, and
got drunk.
I got shit-faced. The kettle sour was going on, and like it's one of those things where you can basically take a pH reading and be like, all right, this is when we pitch the lacto. This is when I think it's going to hit 3.6. Mm-hmm. Boom. So by like 4 o'clock, I put my dog down at like 10:30. I got to the brewery at 1, and by like 4, I was a fucking mess. Like, I was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Fuck this brewery. Like, everything about this place, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then I said, I was like, turn that kettle on at 7:30. Kill that lacto at 7:30. I'll be in tomorrow to fuck this.
Yeah. And by fuck this place, I mean you do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
By fuck this place, I mean I love everybody, and thank you very much for letting me get out my grief.
I
gotta
give it up to everyone at the brewery that day, because I mean, I was a fucking. My dog was 18 years old, so it wasn't like not to say that like any age for a dog is a bad age.
You have life longer than a lot of your friends.
Yeah, definitely.
You're just over emotional.
Yeah,
I got him. I am for dogs.
For dogs.
Oh, I'd like to think that when they have to put me down, it's going to be a tough day around here.
No.
No?
I don't think JP's
JP will just take over.
Tasty will cry.
Yeah.
But I guess Tasty cries about having
I don't even think Tasty will cry. I think he'll just be like,
well.
If I'm around, I will.
Okay, thank you.
He's like, huh? Can I move my chair?
Anything, you know.
Yeah. Do I get a better mic now?
Right.
Yeah. I'm leaving my microphone to Tasty.
Yeah.
What?
I'll buy my own. I don't know.
You'll have to wheel him in here, but
eBay that shit.
All right, and the next beer in our glass. What do we have here?
This is the Shape of Hops to Come. So this is our West Coast style.
Double IPA?
Double IPA.
Okay.
And someone in the chat room was actually asking us to ask about this beer.
Okay.
What's it called again? I'm sorry.
This is the Shape of Hops to Come.
Okay.
So this is our West Coast
You're getting
style.
all rare barrel on your naming.
No, not really.
We love Alan Thorkin, and so this is an obscure line. You'd have to be a super fan to know. It's an obscure line from his first work, but it was a first draft of the script, not the actual shot, the shooting script.
Oh, okay.
So is the chat room asking specifically where we got the name from? Because I don't think anyone here knows.
No, they were just like literally asked him about the Shape of Hops to Come.
Cool.
And I said,
so we did it.
Very
and I said, no, fuck off. He'll get to it when he wants to.
No, fuck off. Here's the beer.
No.
So tell us about the beer.
So this is our West Coast style IPA. This was the first double IPA. Yeah, the first double IPA we made. If a brewery has a hype beer, this would be our hype beer. I don't want to say it's the beer that people know us by, but since it's a hoppy beer, and it's usually I have a buddy of mine that works in Craft Beer and Brewing magazine, and he texted me. He's like, "How's it feel to have a trade bait?" And I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "Trade bait." He's like, "Shape is trade bait."
Yeah.
And I said,
Whales and stuff.
I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that means, man. He's like, "Well, dude, there's people on message boards and stuff trading trading for that can of beer now."
Yeah, you could trade a can of that beer for a Pliny from here out there this side, probably.
Not in Philadelphia because we get Pliny.
Oh, that's. I mean, other beers,
but not super fresh.
I wouldn't.
Do it.
I have had it super fresh,
but not as fresh as you can get on the West Coast. So I trade for it.
Yeah.
I have two magic cards.
This is why your shirt says Shape.
Yes.
I thought you were making fun of yourself.
So no, are you trying to say I'm fat because it's cool?
Wow.
I'll totally take that. I had knee surgery like 10 weeks ago, so I put on like 20 pounds.
Wow.
So fuck you. Anyway, okay?
Yeah. Fair enough.
I would still like to point out that I am the fastest fuck at the brewery.
Is that right?
No one has beat me in a sprint race.
So your endurance isn't very good?
Right.
Not the endurance. I can run across the brewery faster than anyone else.
Very agile.
Okay. Yeah.
I have very spider-like reflexes.
What do you think the IBUs are in this beer?
I like to tell people 85.
85.
I like to lie to people.
Okay, but what is it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about theoretical calculations,
Yeah, you calculate it higher than that, right? Like a 200.
It's total bullshit.
Yeah.
That's like the first time I had one of the beers that like really, I don't want to say got me into super hoppy beers, but like Hercules from Great Divide. It was like they were putting like 110 IBUs on a label, and I was like, fuck, this thing's just like melting my face right now.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Like all your beers, it's really well attenuated.
Yeah. This is a dry beer too. I mean, it finishes at
what's the ABV at 9?
8.5.
Okay.
So
What are the hop? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say this finishes at when it finishes where it should finish. It usually finishes right around 1.8 Plato.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what are the hops in this?
So
the hop blend is amazing.
This is Apollo is our bittering hop, and so this is a very, I don't want to say traditional, but it's more in line with what's going on, or not what's going on, but like a West Coast style, every 15-minute type hop addition.
Well, she said, what about the finish? What are the hops?
So the finishing hops in this are Topaz and Simcoe, and then it's dry hop. Topaz. Yep. We got some.
I thought so.
Topaz has been a challenging hop for us. I don't want to say to get, but we got it. Patrick from Country Malt Group dropped us off some Topaz 3 years ago in a small amount and said, "Hey, check these out." And we brewed a beer, a couple of different pilot batches with it, and we were like, "Fuck, man, this is great." It's got a little bit of like grapefruit to it, a little bit of pine. It's it's so. I don't know. It's an Australian hop, but it's sort of like Galaxy Light. It reminded me of Galaxy, but not like nearly to that.
And is it more forward than the Simcoe in the beer, or are they about equal?
No, Simcoe definitely. Simcoe and Citra are definitely. It's the same amount.
But I mean, in terms of what it comes out, what you think in the finish of the beer, which one's more
Simcoe definitely. Simcoe. This beer definitely has a much more Simcoe. I'm a Simcoe junkie.
Is any Apollo in the dry hop also?
No. So it's first wort hopping, and then the first 3 kettle editions are all Apollo.
Okay.
And then it goes Newport, Simcoe, Topaz, Simcoe, and then the dry hop. I'm fucking something up there, but essentially the last 30-minute is Newport, and then it's all Simcoe, Topaz, Simcoe, and then boom. Flame out, and then Citra. This is all Citra is the dry hop.
Nice.
So.
Do you add sugar to the beer to dry it out?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. You kind of have to in a double
Vinny,
IPA,
Vinny wrote
right?
the book, man.
Yeah.
I always say that. So our core IPA is called Carolina IPA, and so we dry hop that just like Pliny, but without the double dry hop. Okay. And then this is, Vinny wrote the book. As far as I'm concerned, you can always write more chapters of the book, but
right.
if
you're still doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. It's like if someone's making beer that awesome, why wouldn't you pay attention to it?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you can't change, what you're doing a little bit.
Sure.
But if this guy's doing this, why the fuck wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
And to be honest, we've definitely done a lot. This was our first double IPA, and we've done different things with other beers since then, and we always constantly change what we're doing. But boom, that's the textbook.
Yeah.
The dude, that guy is the be all and end all as far as IPA is concerned in my book. So
he's the godfather.
Yeah, and I don't know why everyone decides to ignore it.
Because everybody thinks they have a better idea.
Yeah,
I can do it better.
I'm all for trying to make better beer and doing things different. But like when the guy, when
you can start there,
yeah, exactly,
and then go better.
When it's that awesome to begin with, fuck it,
yeah,
start. That's our core IPA is that. And then we built, and actually every hoppy beer that we make is different. It's always been some, slight change here and there. You know, and that's fine. That's great. That's, but it's been very easy. People like Vinny and the Russian River have paved the way. I always say that, like, especially in Pennsylvania, like you have Victory and Yeagley and Trogs that have paved, and Yards have paved the way for us. The reason why we've gotten to 17,500 barrels last year in 4 years is not because we put the beer out there, is because those guys did it for us.
That's right.
And we love those breweries. I respect the shit out of those breweries.
Okay.
And we're really good friends with a lot of people at those breweries, and that's helped us. They've helped us so much.
Well, your homage to them has paid off too, because this is a great beer.
We're trying. And that's. We've heard the dumb shit like, well, this is the heady killer. Like this is the Pennsylvania heady killer.
Okay.
Like, well, no, it's not, because it doesn't have a fucking chunks of shit in the bottom of the can.
I don't think they can.
Yeah.
I'd be okay if this killed
the
it,
new
though.
IPA from Neshaminy, chunks of shit.
Chunks of shit. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I don't like that beer. I'm just saying.
There's no chunks of shit.
There's no chunks of shit in it.
That won't win a medal at GABF. They won't allow it.
It will, but they won't say it.
Chunks of from Neshaminy Creek.
Chew your beer.
They wouldn't say that?
No, they'll give you the medal, but they won't say the name.
God damn it!
And
that just ruined.
You can't use it in their marketing.
I literally got through the TTB
a
brand name called Clusterfuck.
Okay, and it passed.
Yes.
How?
Well, the TTB just recently loosened.
How did you spell fuck, by the way?
Requirements.
FUCK FUCQ was a Clusterfuck.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even get that on a license plate. God damn it!
Clusterfuck.
Clusterfuck.
It's going to be an all cluster American lager.
It's a great name, and you got through TTB.
Yeah,
and you're gonna name a beer that.
Well, no, we basically. I don't know. I was sober when I did it. So that's surprising.
You just fucked up, dude.
I was. Whoops. Jay, our old lead brewer, was there. I was like, "Fuck it, dude. Let's just name a beer called Clusterfuck and they call it something else, and let's just register it and see if they do it." Like, there was no intention to make the beer.
Okay.
It was like the name became like.
Okay, but now you can make it. You just can't enter it into.
It's like the cart came before the horse.
Well, you can, but
you can't win a medal.
You can win a medal, but you won't hear the name, and you can't use the fact that you won that medal in your marketing.
You can win it, but no one will know.
Right.
Well, what?
So they don't let you on stage?
It's his own goddamn marketing. Why can't he use it in his marketing?
Because the PA is associated with it.
They own that.
They allow you, once you enter, they allow you to use their medals and their logo and their thing for your marketing.
I'm going to call the BA tomorrow.
For I think it's like 3 years you can use it.
This.
Yeah.
3 years
or something like that.
I'm way out of.
We just need to start having sensitivity training here at the beer.
We just updated the can artwork for Churchville to say both 2013 2016. So
yeah,
I didn't send it in.
You know what I'm sensitive to, Beardy?
What?
People being too fucking uptight.
That's true.
That's what I'm sensitive about.
Tightwads.
That would be our sensitivity training here will be about lighting the fuck up.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. One more beer to taste as well.
To fucking go through.
Yeah. No,
a dark beer.
This is a dark beer.
Yeah, what is this?
This is our bourbon barrel aged breakfast stout.
Smells like a candy bar.
It does smell like a candy bar.
So you're allowed to have a beer called breakfast stout?
It's called Frühstück, technically.
Oh, okay.
So it's Frühstück being breakfast in German.
Okay.
So
nice.
See how they got around it more?
Yeah. Language.
He's doing it in another language.
Yeah.
Budvar, for example.
But when I submitted it to the TTB, I actually had to put in the note, Frühstück means breakfast in German.
You had to translate it for them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because we've done...
Why?
Not everyone can Bing.
I actually, for the Kleiner friend, we had to do the same thing. The Kleiner friend's technically Dutch anyway. But that was the first label we had used a foreign name on, and they came back and said, "What does this mean?" And I was like, "It means little buddy."
So someone could lie.
Which is much more palatable than dead dog, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say cry. Cray means cry for me because my dog died.
It was not. No, it wasn't. It wasn't dead dog.
I need a hobby.
Which would be terrible.
Kettle soured beer
And awesome at the same time.
Did you stuff the dog?
No,
that's too bad.
I did have him cremated though, so he's still on like the mantle.
So I did the same, but I thought long and hard about stuffing her because she always was just like chilling around the studio with us and stuff. And I just thought,
vagina everywhere.
Yeah, and she didn't do much anyway. So I was like,
vagina juice around.
Just kind of stuff her.
No one would have noticed.
It would be just as cool. Yeah, but I couldn't bring myself to do it, especially because I thought they'd make like some weird face on her or something. That
I couldn't imagine.
They actually do articles like on BuzzFeed of shitty taxidermy.
Exactly.
That is the best.
Blobber
could
have done it.
It's not the best when it's your dog. No, because that would have just been devastating. If she's there with some like creepy face that I've never seen before.
You shouldn't be stuffing your dog anyway. Taxidermy should only be for like a random animal that's like you.
I disagree. If it
should be some random animal that you shot in the woods.
I feel like if it was foolproof, like if you knew you were going to get the animal that you put down, I disagree. You should totally stuff your animals.
That wouldn't freak you out?
No, I'd love it. I would be holding her right now.
You're deranged.
If you have small children, that would not work out well.
I keep telling
Can you imagine like your daughter just walking like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Like that's Biscuit. She used to be alive.
Yeah. Just like you.
Just like you one day.
Yeah.
One day you'll stuff me.
I keep telling Terrence, like, when my cats die, when Wesley dies, when we stuff him, he's going to be in this position. And I stopped asking, like, can we or hey, maybe
like
we
taking
should.
A shit?
It's just it's just going to be like just laying down or licking his balls, which he likes to do all the time.
It's like in a crouching position. Like, this is the position this dog's always been in, taking a shit on the floor.
Yeah.
Or scooting, like, getting the worms out.
When we stuff Tasty, he'll just be looking at his phone.
Asleep.
For example.
Yeah. And then for pictures,
actually, that's Doc now. Tasty is like with a beer in his hand or something.
For pictures, we stand him up and pose him, and he just in the low hug position.
Oh yeah, his hands are just out.
Yeah. Get a low hug with Tasty, $25.
Forget the cardboard
I've been
cutouts.
working that low thing hard this week. I'm going out of town.
Oh, I see.
So I'm hitting every,
You're gearing up.
Hanging up with everybody.
Giving everybody something to remember you.
Where are you going, Tasty?
I'm going to London and
give everyone potential
6 days and then 5 days in Dublin.
That sounds great.
Dublin's like 20 miles that way, dude.
Yeah.
You don't have to go.
Oh, no, this is in the...
You can take Bart there.
In the Irish.
Oh, shit. Shit.
In the Irish land.
Oh,
so the new Dublin.
Yeah, I'll be speaking at the BrewCon 2017.
Yeah.
Their
Homebrew
conference.
That's in June.
Palmer and I will both be
the Irish BrewCon.
That's in London or that's in Ireland?
That's in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to
doing
understand
an
you.
on-the-way thing. London.
Yeah, you have to talk about bombs and firebombs.
No, that's not what I was talking about. The
That's
accent.
Northern Ireland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Say cunt a lot.
Yeah, it's just Guinness and Jameson, right?
That's the British.
Oh.
I thought that was Australian.
Them too.
They're British. Australians are basically
Aren't
British.
they all really the same?
Canadians are essentially British.
Exactly.
Just like different accents.
That's the South Africans. They're all the same. We don't. What the fuck do we know? We live in Concord. We're about as
some
worldly
of us do.
as I don't know.
People that live in Concord.
Yeah, other people live closer to the refinery.
Other people are going to die of cancer.
I gotta say that I was really expecting to see a lot more homeless people in the park across the street.
Oh, did you really go out there though? Because they're there.
Oh yeah,
not during the day. They must
No, I came here. I got lunch here at like 2:00 and walked to the sandwich place. There's fucking weirdos and homeless people everywhere.
I mean, I definitely ran into a weirdo on a bike that was singing. I thought he was singing to himself, but then he started singing to me.
Oh, Samuel,
when I got off BART. And then he definitely went into like a 4-lane road in the middle of Concord, the wrong direction. I was like, this guy's ready to fucking party.
That's his town.
Dude,
Are you sure they're not just hipsters?
it's his town. You're just living in it.
Yeah.
Last year,
you have to share the road.
At the start of Springfest last year, and by the way, it's the only incident we've ever had happen at our beer festival.
That's how you know this.
I remember this.
We had put up the gates. The fence was there. We hadn't quite closed the gates yet. We like to keep the park open to the public as long as possible. But we were just about to close them. We were kicking people out. And this homeless woman on a bicycle just comes tearing through. And she's yelling. And everyone, the cops are chasing. Everyone's chasing. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. And she's like, I don't know how to get out. This is my house. and she's right. Technically, it is more her house than it is my house.
Yeah.
The cops tackled her off her bike, and they knew her too. Oh, they're like,
Sandy, stop doing this.
Exactly. They're like, Sandy, every time, Sandy. And this year we kind of missed her. She wasn't there. But I just loved what she was screaming as riding through. Like, this is my house.
Bitch, this is my place. Get
Because I felt really bad. I was putting a fence around her house.
Every year she has a ceremony where she rides through.
I would love that.
Like, hey, in my house, you guys have a good time.
You give her like a banner and just like march her through with
She's the host.
like the local marching band from the high school.
Yes, I would let her be the opening march to the festival.
Put her on the fucking stage. Just give her a microphone for
Give her a goddamn wristband the next time.
I cannot do either of those things. That's when we start getting
wristband might be a dangerous
insurance trouble.
VIP wristband.
To open the Spring Fest, I want to bring up Cindy, everybody, local cat lady Cindy.
The cat ladies from The Simpsons or something.
The other one we had is there's this Vietnam vet around here on his little scooter.
Thank you for your service.
He's got the flags, and I think he's homeless or crazy too. I don't know what. But he came tearing through the gate well after we were open, but my volunteers didn't feel comfortable stopping him. He was going full
who would?
scooter. And they're calling me on the radio. What do we do? What do we do? This guy, and I just thought. Nothing. Give him a beer. I don't. If he's that determined, God bless him.
He earned it, man. Let him.
Earned it. Exactly.
Tell him the VC are that way, and he should go the other way.
If he's got a cup holder, he's in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, definitly.
So that's what we did. We ended up giving him a beer. Some people you can't throw out. It's their house.
Yeah.
You should have been like, hey, he's talent. He's in.
Yeah,
he's
talent.
He fought
Give
for
him a
the
talent
right.
wristband, dude.
Here's his rider.
Yeah. He fought for the right for you to throw that festival.
Yes, he did.
God damn it.
In Vietnam.
Yes. It's been fucking 8 months in a rice paddy. You even fucking deserve a beer, too.
He hiked the Ho Chi Minh.
That's our next beer festival. It's going to be in a rice paddy.
Yes. I love this idea. I won't be there.
All right, anything you want to tell us about this beer before we...
Yeah, so the breakfast...
After I just pounded it.
Why is it so chocolatey? What'd you put in there?
So this is...
chocolate.
There's definitely chocolate in the beer. Both chocolate malt and then chocolate in the kettle, as well as cocoa nibs in the kettle.
Yep. Wait, so actual chocolate in addition to cocoa nibs?
Yes.
Wow.
In the kettle. You put nibs in the kettle.
Oh, don't worry. That's the start.
Okay.
This is like a chocolate explosion.
Hold on. Let me stand up and then sit down again. I need to be prepared for this.
There's ground coffee in the kettle, cocoa nibs in the kettle, chocolate in the coffee, and then, chocolate in... actual melted chocolate in the kettle, and then chocolate malt in the kettle, along with a fuck ton of two-row. And then we ferment this on cold-pressed coffee. And then this particular version went into Woodford Reserve double oak barrels for 8 months. And then after the 8 months in the barrels, we took it out and put it in stainless and conditioned it on more coffee, whole bean coffee.
Wow.
And then more cocoa nibs.
You guys really stacked the deck on this one.
Yeah. This
so those later steps were like to taste? You felt it needed that after all this?
Coffee definitely dies out in the barrel.
I see.
After time. So it's one of those things where if you say there's coffee in a beer and you don't get as much coffee, people always talk shit. So we wanted to do that. And if on top of that, too, is like being a breakfast stout, we wanted to accentuate a little bit more of the chocolate flavor, too. So that's the coffee nibs were only about a pound per barrel conditioning, and then the coffee in the stainless was 2 pounds per barrel. So it wasn't nearly as much in the barrel as like between the kettle and the fermentation.
Now it sounds like some of it didn't go into the wood. Some of it went right straight to to draft, or everything?
So,
with,
what we do with a lot of our beers, like this particular one, we brewed it, fermented it, put a bunch in draft, and then we put a bunch in the barrels. So you can always do a side by side comparison if you hang out, if you're around the brewery enough. So,
well, you're right that it's a chocolate bomb, but none of those things that you're mentioning are overpowering.
No,
I mean, it's certainly a chocolatey beer. There's certainly some coffee in there, but it all just kind of has its place.
We try to, we always try to. I wouldn't say like we're definitely a brewery that works on balance, but we. With coffee, it's you get used to the notes dying. Coffee definitely loses its presence, over time. So if you're going to put it in the kettle and you're going to put it in the fermenter, after 8 months in a barrel, it's not going to be there as much. So that's why we're going to do some additional.
Okay.
Well, in cooking, coffee is actually used to enhance chocolate flavor.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of there's a lot. Also, the coffee. So this particular. The roasters that we use is Rise Up roasters out of Easton, Maryland, and they're great. I mean, anytime we say like this is what we're trying to do, boom. What coffee do you suggest? They always are on point.
Cool.
And they're great guys. I mean, they're super easy to work with and pretty chill, and they love beer. So it's like, hey, here's fucking 3 cases. What do you what coffee do you suggest?
That's so great.
What do you think you get from adding the actual chocolate in addition to the nibs?
This beer actually doesn't have as much coffee as as much chocolate as the other beers that we use. Chocolate in. So it's really it's more of a supporting role because between the malt, the cocoa nibs, the coffee in the because there's cocoa nibs and coffee in the kettle. Sure. There's chocolate, malt, and chocolate. It's not a lot. It's all just supporting together. It's not one's not trying to be overwhelming over the other.
Do you get different flavors from adding the chocolate that has like cocoa butter and everything mixed in?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the coffee itself actually has a little bit more of a sweet note to it, as opposed to like with cocoa nibs and actually if you're using whole bean coffee, you get a little bit more bitterness from them. Not that it's going to add a whole lot to the beer, but like you actually have to think about it a little bit more because you're going to actually extract a little bit of that astringency from the cocoa nibs and from the. So we try to balance all of that together, and then of course with Woodford Reserve double oak barrels, Jesus, like a ton of vanilla, tons. The oak flavor and the vanilla, it just smooths it out. It makes it.
Yeah, it brings out the chocolate character.
Yeah, definitely.
How old is this bottle?
Or
the beer that's in the bottle.
When we bottled it,
well, the glass.
The bottle's 25 years old.
That bottle is fucking 100 years old now. When we pulled the beer out of the barrels, they were 8 months old.
Okay.
So at this point, I can't keep track of all the bottle releases. I want to say it's like 4 months old.
Okay.
Out of so it's probably at this point from
8 months before the bottle, and then another 4 months in the bottle.
It's about a year.
Yeah.
About a year total
Okay.
from the time it went in the barrels to the time you're drinking it now.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with us. Excellent.
It reminds me of
awesome
like
beer.
Nesquik. Like in the squeezable bottle, if you just were to pour it in your mouth, it's just an alcoholic caffeinated version of that.
I can get down with that because
except that
This is the untapped
except that there's coffee.
description
and
that
so
I'm
it's
giving.
it's not the only thing I
2 stars
don't
out of
like
5.
about that description. I like
It's relatable.
that it's rich, but it's not sweet like that.
Yeah,
like
right.
No, it's not overly
when
sweet.
you say that, I feel like okay, there's like a sweet, but it's even though it is a chocolate bomb, as you said, none of it is like overly sweet. It's a bit of a dessert beer, which I really like,
and it finishes at a high gravity too. It's not
really.
It's
okay.
not. Yeah, it's pretty like 7 Plato.
I think the coffee might help, kind of add some bitterness to it.
The bitterness and astringency from the coffee will actually cut through the body. Right. That you get on a higher gravity beer that finishes that high.
Okay,
so.
I think that's what you get for the different layers of the chocolate and the nibs and the layering of the coffee is like you're saying some of that stuff falls away, but some of the essence is still there.
Yeah.
And then you pile on top of it and you kind of get these layers that you wouldn't normally get if you just had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 additions. You need to have 12 or 13. I wasn't listening. I don't know how many, but it was something like that.
117.
I think it was something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
There's a hipster bicycle thrown in.
Right. Fixed gear.
Well, because they went cold press. So.
Right. You got to.
Yeah.
A hoodie. There's a hoodie.
Some leather shoes.
Something from a thrift store.
Secondhand.
At least.
Yeah, it's not a thrift store. It's secondhand.
Sorry.
No, it's a consignment shop. Come on.
Oh, shit.
That's what the cool kids are calling it.
That is the
And 2 tickets to Coachella.
South by Southwest, actually.
What is that Dave Matthews Festival in Tennessee?
I don't
There's a
know
whole
why are you
Dave
looking
Is that
at
not
me?
just a concert? It's a festival?
Yeah, there's some
does it do a
crazy shit.
festival?
I don't. It's in Tennessee or somewhere.
I know what you're talking about.
Shit. Now I gotta go.
Starts with a B. Starts with a B or something.
Yeah, Bonnaroo.
Bonnaroo.
I love that you call it the Dave Matthews Festival.
Well, because he's the one that started it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
No, he's the money behind it. So
Yeah, I was like, fuck. Now I gotta go to that.
he's the whole reason why I've never gone.
Yeah.
I know where you'll be next year.
Was it Coachella or like Bonnaroo where like Kanye got up on stage and just told everyone to fuck off for like 30
That was
minutes?
his own concert, wasn't it?
That was basically
his own concert.
Here in San Jose.
I think it was Bonnaroo, which was like all these like Dave Matthews, like, you know, fucking neo hippie motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Like,
and then Kanye.
and then Kanye was like, "Fuck you," and out.
Yeah, and didn't he got committed? He committed himself or got committed after his last
That was long overdue.
string of that. Yeah,
He's not very good.
Remember when he wrote a book that had very little words? And
Schumann bought it. Very
Schumann
few.
bought it, and the quote he wrote about the book was, "I wrote this because books be all wordy and shit." That's a direct quote.
Yeah.
Books be all wordy and shit.
Yeah.
And so
Brilliant.
that was the reason he wrote his book.
Sounds like he should run for president.
Fucking poetic.
Yeah.
He said he was going to in 2020.
Oh,
He still could.
I'll gladly take that shit.
I'm not kidding.
He still
Seriously?
could, and clearly he could get elected. So
You know,
That's true.
America.
couple months ago, you would say you're full of shit, but I think that's pretty possible.
very much.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
That would
possible.
make Kim Kardashian
Welcome to America,
first lady.
land of the free and home of the brave.
She's the only lady.
FYI.
Well, Jeremy, I want to thank you for being here and sending us so much great beer.
Thank you so much for having
flying
me.
out to come do the show in person.
Ah,
We
Yeah,
always-
dude, that was awesome.
Total pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's really always a better experience for us and our listeners when you're here.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that Eric couldn't make
Yeah,
it.
man down there.
Yeah,
Hard.
man, yeah.
Meat man.
Meat.
Pour one out for the homie.
Yeah.
Just pour it into my throat.
Yeah, give him our best and tell him not to be such a pussy next time.
I was texting him like literally before I walked in. I was like, "Dude, just show up at like 8:30. 8:30 would be perfect."
We have a bathroom here.
Yeah.
Put on a diaper.
He was like, "Dude, if I shit myself on air, that's just not going to work." I'm
It
like,
would
no.
not. It would kind of work. We would throw him out immediately, but it would be good radio.
Just put a bucket with like one of those foam things on the edges.
Yeah.
We're good, you know? I don't know. I saw the toilet this morning. It was pretty brutal.
He doesn't even flush.
I
He
felt
doesn't even flush. What a dick.
honestly when we got back from visiting some breweries today. I went into the bathroom and I lifted to it. I was like, "Thank God they cleaned this."
Yeah, really.
Oh, man.
Here, hang on. You have some rotating pictures. Which asshole in this photo is Eric?
He didn't go to GABF this year.
Oh, he's not in the
No.
GABF photo. Okay.
I think he's the guy on the far left.
He went to our
The fist bumper.
he went to our first GABF, which when we won the gold for Churchville. We all actually for a while we were thinking that like because we do a lottery for all the guys at the brewery.
Yeah.
So anyone, regardless of whether you've been working at the brewery for a month or you've been working at the brewery for like 4 years, your name goes in the hat. And
Okay.
you can get picked.
Nice.
But Meat Man was at the first GABF that we won, so we for a while we thought that we were fucked and we were never going to win on a GABF medal because Meat Man hadn't come.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're never going to fucking win.
Well, he
another
did,
medal.
just not a GBF.
And then we won last year, and I was like, "You're never going again.
You're out.
You're out, dude."
All right, you can go to NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com and look at all the beers, check out the branding, find locations, see
We have
the
a new
events.
location.
That's right.
Yeah. May 17th, we have a brand new brew pub opening in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
About 35 minutes away from us.
Congratulations. So that's your restaurant, and you'll brew on premise there, too?
Yes.
And, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So 5 years into it, the third partner's finally pulling his weight.
Yeah. Although we told him he has nothing to do with the kitchen. We're like,
okay.
We're like, dude, we're going to do this. You can't do the kitchen. So
He's like, whatever, dude. Yeah. As long as your check cashes, I don't give a
Right.
But he's a daily. Well, yeah. I mean, he's an active partner. He's not like.
Yeah.
Although he's been in Australia for like the last 17 days, so fuck him. So
he's kind of like me, where he's like sort of around,
yeah, sort of
not.
He's trying to be.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, well, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to like South Africa for the next like 3 weeks.
Yeah, have him call me. I'll give him some notes.
He's active. He's doing things.
Just
Steve's-
not with you.
Right.
Nah, Steve's
Or
the
your
greatest.
brand at all.
He got engaged. Actually, let's give it up for Steve.
I'm not going to congratulate him for
No,
that.
I got to give it up for Steve because like he was supposed to go to Australia back in the fall, and then his wife to be is an actor, and she got
Which one?
In 2017, we called him an actor. In 1990, we called him an actress.
Yeah.
She got a role in a play down in Florida, so I felt bad for Steve because he told me the whole story about it. And
She's already ruining your life. His life is what you're getting.
No.
Yeah, he had plans, and now he can't.
It's the best thing that's happened to him in a while. So he was fucked either way. So, but they had to cancel or rearrange their whole trip. And he's like, dude, what the fuck, man? We're going to Australia. I had it all planned out,
ready to go.
She gets this play in Florida, and then boom.
Yeah,
that plan's fucked.
Yeah, welcome to married life.
But he did, yeah, exactly.
Welcome to be married to an actress. Don't get all high and mighty.
Yeah, exactly. But they just went to high and mighty. They were just in Australia for 2 weeks, and then he popped the question. She said yes.
See, they still win. Right. That's the story. Yeah. She got to do what she wanted to do. He got to do what he wanted to do. Eventually, it's a compromise.
He just had to delay it by 4 months. I mean, honestly, 4 months or 14 or 40 years, whatever.
How they meet? Was it Tinder?
No, it wasn't Tinder.
No?
Grindr?
Bumble?
It was not. It was Bristler.
Oh, shit.
No.
Bristler? I don't know.
Bristler is like Tinder for dudes with beards.
Oh, God.
Beardy would fucking
Beardy,
rule it.
He actually invented it.
He was like, Bristler? What are you talking about?
Bristler? I don't even know her.
I have no idea. What are you talking about, Bristler?
Bristler.
For dudes and other dudes.
That's a real thing.
No,
it's like farmersonly.com.
It's for chicks that like dudes with beards.
Oh, wow.
It's a one-way street, too. It could be a two-way street, but it's basically a one-way street.
What?
Huh. Sounds like you have better odds there.
I guess I have some apps to download.
Don't tell your wife that, though.
No.
By Christmas, I'm going to be on that site.
There you go. You're still growing that thing.
You're going to hit Bristol before you hit London, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Your handle will be Santa Daddy 94.
Yeah. Tasty's looking for some seasonal employment in December.
Tasty Daddy 94.
Oh, yeah.
Tasty Daddy.
My favorite. Let's see. We got to do Twitter.
We're going to do Twitter game.
Let's do a little Adam and Eve first, shall we?
Let's do a lot of Adam and Eve.
All right. Adam and Eve is determined to help you spice things up in the bedroom, and they're backing up that promise. Check this out. Go to adamandeve.com, and you'll get 50% off any item when you enter coupon code BNARMY. And that's a good deal in and of itself, but backed by popular demand, and for a limited time only, you'll also get a free Big O kit. Who doesn't love the Big O? Adam and Eve's Big O kit includes their exclusive Climax Gel.
Is that the O face?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jello.
Can we do a segment where I try a new product each week and then come and discuss
Yes.
it?
Oh.
That sounds like a challenge.
I love how that joke actually became really weird.
Wow.
You should have thought more
Anybody was going to
about
say
that.
no.
How can you stand in a room with, hey, can I try all the products before we advertise them?
I don't know
was
about you
poor
guys.
thinking.
I didn't hear a joke. I heard an offer.
Yeah,
Right.
Sign right here. You're in.
There was no joke.
I mean, everything's paid for, right?
Yes.
All right.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
I guess we're right into Adam and Eve this week. Well,
how
go
many kits can you
online
send?
and make a list of things you want, and I'll get them
I'll make
sent.
a wish list.
I'll get them sent to your house, but then you do have to report every week.
I would.
Okay.
At least a paragraph.
It has to be in the RV, though.
Apparently, Kim is really lonely, and that's fine. She can borrow the RV. It's filthy, but so is Kim.
Right. At least she will be.
We could draw her a new boyfriend. It'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. Do you still have the picture of your boyfriend that we drew? Yeah.
It's what she cries herself to sleep at night for.
It's under my pillow.
Yeah.
She'll look at that while she's using the Big O kit.
What was his name? What did we call him?
Oh, what was that?
I don't remember, but it turns out our portrait was correct, doesn't it? Like, we drew a picture of his soul.
Oh, shockingly close.
She's still hanging on the hook that he had for a hand, the anchor that he had for a hand.
Yeah.
She's still
Yes,
there.
and there was a boomerang dildo.
Oh, yeah.
Do they sell that on Adam and Eve that I can check
it's
out?
the only dildo that keeps coming.
If anyone sells a boomerang dildo, it's Adam and Eve.
It's Adam and Eve. All right, you're also going to get a mini vibrator. So that'll be no good for you, Kim. You need a big one.
Travel for travel.
Yeah, it's actually a leg of a mold of a leg is what it is. It's not even a dildo. It's just a leg.
It's a travel size.
Actually, a leg of a farm animal.
The travel version.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's left leg.
It's the one that doesn't set off security when you go through TSA.
You'll also get your entire order sent to you for free, so hurry, take advantage of this limited time offer. Choose a new adult toy, a naughty movie, or almost anything else. And when you choose that item at 50% off, you're going to get free shipping, plus the Big O kit, which includes the Climax Gel and the mini vibrator. And you won't find this deal anywhere else. except for possibly on another podcast. Just use offer code BNARMY, BNARMY, at checkout. That's BNARMY at adamandeve.com.
Benarmy.
Yeah.
Benarmy.
All right. What was our Twitter game today?
I don't know. I'm too drunk to figure it out. Our Twitter game was, we're talking about the, not the Brewing Network, the Brewers Association.
Oh, yeah.
Taking a stand on lewd and offensive beer names.
Yeah.
And I wanted everybody in the BNRB to come up with a lewd and offensive beer name that we would get banned for.
Yeah, this would be hard.
This would be real hard. How did we do?
We did pretty good. I'm not going to lie. We did pretty good.
All right.
You're going to need more paper than that.
I know. Let me put out several Post-it notes here.
The real question is, how many of these would actually still get through the TTB?
Probably a lot of them, to be honest.
If you want, I'll jump on right now and put my login in, and we'll fucking make it happen.
And that
we'll
was
do this
our
in real
question
time.
When we discussed this at the beginning of the show, it's like all of these names pass TTB, but they are no longer passing Brewers Association muster. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does it?
You think?
So far, they can't decline anything until they have criteria.
Well,
So if you have a raunchy label, get it in now.
Well,
is that what they said? We will not decline anything until we have criteria.
Well, the thing
That's
is,
what we're assuming.
If you're doing draft only, you just put the name, and there's no dumb artwork.
Oh, then there's no TTB.
No, the TTB is still for draft for a keg collar.
Oh,
because technically you still have to have a keg collar.
Yeah.
So
even the name still has to go.
Yeah,
through.
that's how you get clusterfuck through.
Right.
But if you're doing in-pub only, right? Like, you can still enter in-pub only into GABF.
Yeah. Well,
so you can name it whatever the fuck you
whether
want.
it's
It doesn't
GABF,
have to be TTB,
it doesn't
right?
make a difference. It still has to be registered.
Oh.
I just had a thought. Is this all a ruse to explain away the no gold awarded?
No, because you still get the medal.
Well, no, but
But
no one
TTB
will
has
know.
nothing to do with GABF.
They'll just say the name of the brewery. They won't say the name of the beer.
So how many
they
blanks?
will?
Okay.
Oh.
And what will it say? Cannot say name?
I don't know.
Yeah, inappropriate.
Really
Get Gary
curious.
on the phone right now.
Gary's AHA.
He's AHA.
Not
But
BA.
he would know.
He
Jeremy,
would.
when I want to get a
Call
beer
up
through
Charlie
TTB,
Papazian.
I'm going to call you.
Yeah. Clearly.
I'm definitely a straight
A
beeline.
pro. All right, what do we got?
Okay. From Baron Sluter. Now, this is just a...
Is that the name of the beer?
Right out of the gate. No, it could be, though.
Sounds like a bad, really bad Dutch
lewd.
name for a beer.
Yeah.
Beef Curtains Brown Ale.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that sets the tone as to where we kind of are with
That's
this
like a
whole
Jersey
thing.
beer right there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's a bad joke.
I would have rathered a Beef Curtains Red Ale.
Hey, man.
Ah, Jesus.
Hey, whatever your whatever your kink is, I'm not going to kink shame you.
Even
dude.
a
It's
Ralph
fine.
beer.
Thank you.
William says the Low Hug Cream Ale.
Okay. See,
Why is it a cream ale, though?
That would get through.
Well, someone's creaming.
You cream your jeans when you go low?
I don't know. Tasty?
Takes a lot more than that.
Okay.
That's just the start.
Mark Wilson says, why ask us? Nicole is your in-house social justice warrior. I'm sure she has a list of thousands that offend her.
That wasn't on Twitter. That's like over 140 years.
Yeah,
Fuck that
Who
shit.
wrote that to you?
Ron
You wrote that yourself.
I did. You're right. Ron Barnes says, suck it JP Session IPA.
Okay.
Suck it, yeah.
Brian says, Justin would tap that pale ale.
That's any pale.
Not to go back to the one
anything.
before, but
Right.
do you get that response every fucking week? It was like suck a JP session.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
let me ask this. Okay. Justin would tap that is almost the perfect example that I was trying to think of at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Because
Misogynist.
it's a pun.
Right.
But is that the sort of thing that they're talking about
Yeah,
that
definitely.
needs to be
Probably.
banned?
Yeah, you tap a beer.
Yeah.
It's an actual thing you do when you're in the
Yeah, the
industry.
connotation is misogynistic.
Well, so,
Yeah.
but that's on them.
Right. Well,
They're choosing how to.
I mean, it's a
interpret
little.
but it's also implied sexism because what
It
if you're
is.
gay? What if you're in a farm animal?
Well, no, not even that. It's implied
You
that
can still tap it.
it's implied that women don't have sex.
Then you have to start using
or
the
women
gender
don't want to
neutral
have sex.
terms.
Exactly.
Even if they don't know that they want to.
I mean, it sucks because we're in an
wait
overly
a second.
misogynistic industry, so of course it's going to happen.
This whole show
Yeah.
is not approved, by the way.
All right. What else do we have?
This whole network is not approved.
No,
so
it
wouldn't be.
Yeah,
It
it's
wouldn't
not
be.
we're
approved.
fucked.
Yeah.
We have
Kim is super
we have
offensive.
no basis to discuss.
Okay.
I'm the most offensive one.
This is from our mumbling friend who ate all the pies.
Yeah.
the Pacheco Sneaker Brown Ale.
Okay.
Which, if you remember,
That would pass.
that was, I think it was something about like being drunk at the Rat Pad and shitting into someone's shoe is called a Pacheco Sneaker.
That is correct. That's exactly what it was.
That's a
But
throwback.
the BA wouldn't know that.
Right.
So
Right.
that one.
I think Jeremy can
So if
get
it's
that one
region
through.
specific, it's okay.
I can work that out.
If
It's not a known thing.
No,
That's like the Jersey Turnpike.
If it's not like public knowledge, it's okay.
You ever heard of that before?
It's an inside joke.
The Jersey Turnpike? You know what the Jersey Turnpike is?
No, what is it?
So if you go to a bar in the Philly or Jersey area, you take the bar mat, you rinse it into a glass.
yeah.
That's the Jersey Turnpike.
Nice.
So we always joke you should take all the bar mats and rinse them out and then ferment it, and that would be the Jersey Turnpike.
God.
Yikes.
I'll brew that.
WNY Brews says John Palmer.
I like that one.
That definitely would get it.
That's pretty good.
At least it's creative.
That's a pussy grabber reference.
Even Palmer couldn't get that through.
Palmer.
Well, you could also be
Brewed by
trying to
Trump
keep her
Brewing
breast.
Company.
Trying to keep
Palm
it.
her.
Yeah. Keep it on? From falling off?
Keep it from cancer.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Andrew Lee said, fuck. My ex-wife is a cunty Kolsch. So there's that.
Do you know how awesome
that?
No.
First of all, do you know how awesome that statement is? Do you know the German saying for Kolsch?
What?
What's the difference between Kolsch and pussy?
What?
Pussy doesn't taste like shit after 5 minutes. Or no, pussy doesn't task like piss after 5 minutes.
After piss.
That's literally a German translation. I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be like, holy shit, this guy's an asshole.
This guy's what a fucking asshole.
It's not your thing.
No, it's not my thing. It's like,
yeah, you're not
German.
No.
In the tweet,
It's the worst.
Does cunty have an umlaut over the U?
No, but Kolsch does. Somehow.
Wow, good tweet.
That is literally a German translation. I did not make that up.
Are you giving us all of them or just the ones you like?
No, just the one. There's only two more.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, man, tough.
I'm worried about it.
You should be. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. No Beer Left Behind says DP Ale to Mouth Double IPA.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck.
Oh.
It's a good thing that TTB doesn't know what DP means.
Yeah.
If it was
Ale
just,
to mouth.
see, he should have left out DP. If it was just ale to mouth, that would make it through.
I think DP would too.
Yeah,
'Cause
probably so.
There's not some guy in Cincinnati like, what the fuck does DP mean?
Unless they play Cards Against Humanity.
I have never played that, so I have no clue what the fuck it is.
You just watch the porn, so you know.
Yeah, he doesn't fuck around with
What is porn?
Plus,
what
the
is this
one
porn
guy
you're talking
who
about?
works at the TTB and does all this has no time for Cards Against
No,
Humanity.
definitely not.
Is this still
Because
one
he's
guy?
only approving labels on Sundays anyway.
Right.
That's when you get all your approvals?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'll be like playing with my daughter on a swing set Sunday afternoon. I was like, oh shit, our label got approved. Sweet.
Ding.
Oh, clusterfuck.
Ale to
Great.
mouth double IPA just got approved.
Now I got to brew another beer.
On Easter Sunday.
And last but not least, Brewlosophy
Yeah.
writes in Taint Your Mama's Brown IPA.
Oh, gross.
That would probably get through.
But IEYE. PA.
I feel like on a good I feel like on a good Sunday that would get through.
Good Sunday. Taint Your Mama's Brown IPA. So there you go. That's it. We have them. Okay. We have them in.
I really like John Palmer.
John Palmer, which sounds like Andy Wood.
But are you working on a I can't even say.
What was the first one?
The requirement that it has to get passed. I was going to say prerequisite.
No. In fact, the question was which one would get banned.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
that would definitely get banned.
I really like that one. I like Beef Curtains Brown.
Oh God.
It's such a mid '90s joke too.
I like that my ex-wife's a
Cunty Kolsch.
Yeah. I like that one too, just for its obvious factor.
Yeah.
But if it's about an ex-wife, it should be an ESB.
Extra special bitter.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Those are my favorites. Do you want me to read them for a vote, or are we just going to vote for John Palmer?
I'm
a fan of Beef Curtain.
You like, okay, we got there. Right,
no, we're talking about the game, though.
Yeah,
wow.
In the game also?
Yeah, we're talking about the game right now.
Like, oh, no, not that.
Entry there.
Okay.
Thank God we're talking about the Twitter game.
Can I clarify
Yell that out.
I mean, you were in on it. I mean, I don't know. We should make that one of the finalists. We can vote.
Well,
We're
we're going to vote now. Beardy, what do you like?
I would go with the Beef Curtain over the John Palmer.
Okay, all right. Jeremy, which one do you like?
I'll go with the John Palmer, too.
Okay. So it's two. We're tied right now. Kim?
John Palmer.
Okay. You could tie us up again, JP, or...
No, I'm going to go with the John Palmhurst, John.
All right, John Palmhurst is our winner tonight, with a very close runner-up of Beef Curtains Brown.
God, I hate us
That's
right
even
now.
that's just too bad for even me.
I'm too good to be here. I have a master's degree.
I just know it's someplace somewhere, someone's gonna be like, dude, you voted for Beef Curtains Brown. You're like, fuck, dude, really?
That actually, I'm not going to lie, is going to haunt you for a long time. Listeners will be showing up. And
I just know it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you told that really bad German joke, but you said something about Beef Curtain Brown.
Yeah.
It just sounds so bad. It's memorable and awful.
It is. But that's why they're good. That's why they're good jokes.
I agree.
Who put that in? Was that Berlazzo? Who sent it in?
That was WNY Brews.
Nice.
Okay, well, he got his honorable mention, so we can move on from it.
Good job. Good job. All right, well, offensive as always. It's just kind of what we do. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't write me fucking emails about it. I don't care anymore.
They'll DM me on social media.
So I don't want to hear it.
He'll be in South Africa anyway. Who the fuck cares?
All right. Are we done? We
Yes.
did the Twitter game. We did the reads. Next week we got Eel River Brewing Company, which I predict is going to be a lot of fun. I know the owner over there. I have for a long time, and he can get a little crazy. He's a fun guy.
I won't be here.
You won't?
No, I'll be gone.
That's you're leaving
on this trip.
Okay. When do you leave?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Be back on May 1.
Okay.
We don't have a show that day, so.
Good off day.
Okay, you're just finding this out.
European holiday.
Won't be here?
He's putting his PTO request right now.
Rejected or not?
Everybody can have
I must say
PTO.
one show.
Of course. You make all the shows, Tasty. You have all the vacation you want. Just don't die on vacation.
Yeah, do it on the air.
I'll make a point.
Yeah. You know I get worried about you when you don't show up. You're the only one I worry about because you always show up. And JP calls me. You just sometimes, the one day you don't, I always worry about you that you're dead somewhere. So just have a good time, be safe, tell the Europeans we said hello.
I will. I'll be repping you guys.
Don't offend them.
Yeah.
Sure.
As you're walking down the street, hey, the bean says hello. Hey, the bean says hello.
Yeah.
Hey, the bean says hello.
I don't think you can offend the Irish, so you're going to be all right.
Oh, they're cool.
Yeah, it'll be a piece of cake.
The pale, but the cool.
All right, Jeremy, thanks again so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really appreciate it. And, of course, I want to thank Brewbies for being on the program,
That's
Roger
true.
Davis for hanging out. Melanie
Roger.
was just a lot of fun.
Roger from Faction, too.
Yeah, Roger was here.
Gracious host today.
Was he?
Yeah, great.
He's a good guy.
Oh, awesome.
He really is one of the nicest guys.
A lot of fun.
Then he turns into a total fucking asshole, and you can't imagine he's a nice guy.
I don't even know what you're talking about. He was a giant teddy bear today. Seriously.
What time were you there?
Right, today.
It was about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So it was...
Show up at 4 next time.
Oh, what the fuck is this?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Here, have a beer. Fuck off.
Have you seen my ass?
Who let you in here?
You're walking through that yeast.
You got that impersonation down perfectly, by the way.
I'm copying Nate's impersonation.
It's pretty good.
No, it's dead on.
All right, we're going to get out of here. We're back next week with Eel River. JP, do your thing. Jeremy, thank you. Kim, good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Melanie Pierce from Keep Abreast Foundation came in to talk about the Brewbies Festival and all the good things that they do. Go to brewbies.org for more info. And our great guest, Jeremy Myers from Neshaminy Creek Brewing, flew out for the rare in-studio guest spot. Thanks to him for the good beer and even good info and even better beers. Check him out at NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com if you can spell it. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Go check out Moscow's Hop cartoons over at hoplifestore.com. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info. Follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Warren is stuck over at Another Beardy, and the great Beverly is crushing cyberspace again at Bevo1. JP thinks Twitter is dead, and you should follow him on Instagram instead at Major Jib so he can become an influencer without showing cleavage. Be sure to find the Brew Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
JP does great as his charity.